Thank you very much for joining our weekly Bhakti Vaibhav class. So, in the last week, we were discussing from third chapter, wherein uh, in order to show off his greatness, since Lord Brahma made him at the head of Prajapatis, so being proud of his own position, Daksha wanted to show off his greatness over Lord Shiva and his followers. So he started one after the other many sacrifices. So at one point of time, he began to perform Brihaspati Sava sacrifice. So then he invited everyone except Lord Shiva and his followers. So as different people were traveling to the sacrificial arena, passing through Kailash. So Mother Sati pointed out in Kutsa all the devatas, especially the ladies who are very nicely decorated, accompanied by their husbands, seated in their respective airplanes. They were traveling to the Daksha's sacrifice, talking about it very highly. So hearing about it, Sati becomes agitated that she wanted to go to that sacrifice. She approaches Lord Shiva and starts presenting so many uh, arguments. So why they should go? She says that so many of the devatas are decorated very nicely, especially the ladies, and they are going along with their husbands. I would like to go along with you to my father's um, sacrifice. So then Lord Shiva kind of says that how can we go? Why you want to go? Then she says that I also want to decorate myself along with you. I want to go there and meet and talk to my sisters, their husbands, and mother, father, and all the other relatives, everyone. So and also receive the gifts from them. Then Lord Shiva says, "You want to receive gifts from your parents?" So then Sati says that no, no, not just the gifts. I have met them long back, long time had passed. So I wanted to see them. I wanted to talk to them. I want to be with them. So that's what I want to go. So this is my desire to go. And I also want to see the grandeur of the sacrifice that is being performed there. Because all the great Brahmanas are wonderful sacrifice. So that's why I want to go. So then Lord Shiva says, what is this? What kind of bodily attachment do you have? So why you want to go to your family member so much attached? Then she said that you might not have such kind of family attachments, but I am being one of the women in this material world being bewildered by Maya. I have such affection based on the bodily attachments to my family members. I would like to go. Please consider this. So like that, Sati was requesting Lord Shiva. So I may not be able to understand your greatness, your great position, as indifferent to everything else in this material world. But I, being a ordinary woman, like one in one among all the conditioned souls, I have affection for my family members. So I'm not only the one. Everyone is in this material world are in this condition. Every woman wants to decorate herself and to be with their family members. See, now what to speak of the relatives? The many other ladies who don't have any relationship with my family members, my father, mother, and sisters and their husbands, still they are also going. What about that? All the other devatas, Gandharvas, Aksharas, Kinnavas, they are also going to the sacrifice. So what about them? They don't have any relationship with my father, but still they are going. So we have relationship. Why can't we go? So like that, she posed another uh, um, condition. So then she says that for the benefit of the universe, you drank poison. And you are merciful to everyone. Can't you be merciful for me this much? I'm just requesting you to come with me. Even though my father says you don't want to come, but for my sake, please come. So then says that please be patient. Your father does not like me or something like that. Then she says that how can I be patient when something is happening at my father's home? How can a daughter remain patient? I cannot be. I'm not so. Please, uh, please come with me. Then Lord Shiva said that. So even though he may be your father, but he has not invited us. How can we go? Then she said that even though without invitation, we can go to the home of one's friend. For women, the home of one's husband and father-in-law. For men, to the home of the spiritual master and one's own father. Even the son has gone away from home for many years, stayed away, but he can come home anytime. So not that he has to wait for the invitation of the father only, like that, not like that. So like that, in these 4 conditions, one can go back whenever without any invitation or any permission. So one can go back, no problem. So then, so Lord Shiva says that. So even though it may be so, but I cannot come. If at all you want to go, you can go. But only thing I can think of is, if at all you go, you will not receive any reception. So this is my Lord Shiva says, you will not be received properly because you are connected to me. Then Sati said that whatever it may be, at the time of marriage, you accepted me, you accepted my responsibility, and the whole universe considers that I am your half of the part. You are called as Ardhanarishwara. So you accepted me as your half. So it is the desire of me. That means it is your half desire. So it is your duty to fulfill my desire. So like that, Parvati kind of put a strong condition on Lord Shiva. So for this, Lord Shiva now begins to reply. So as last week we kind of stopped at this 16th verse, where Maitreyi is saying, with what mood, with what kind of gravity and internal nature Lord Shiva is responding. Evam Giritra Preyabi Bhashata Pratyabhya Datta Prahasan Suhrut Priya. Prahasan, he was slightly smiling, and then Suhrut Priya, he was replying to his dear wife. So then, how did he reply? Sam smarito marma bida kuwag ishun. Ishun means arrows. Kuwag ishun means arrow-like words. Kuwag ishun means bad words, which are like sharp arrows. Marma bida, which pierce the heart. Sam smarito. So reminding those piercing words of Daksha unto Lord Shiva, which happened last time, both of them went to Daksha Yajna. Yana hako vishwasrujam samaskrita. And Lord Shiva said that it is not alone. It is not that when I and your father was alone. In front of all the Prajapatis, in front of all the great sages of the entire universe, he spoke such piercing words, which are like sharp arrows unto me. So kindly remember those words. That is the kind of envy your father possessed towards me. So reminding these words, Lord Shiva began to reply to Mother Sati. So the entire remaining chapter is all Lord Shiva's reply. So it begins with the 16th verse onwards to reply to Mother Sati. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Tvayoditam Shobhanameva Shobhane Anahuta Api Abhiyanti Bandhushu Te Yadanutpadita Dosha Drushtayo Paliyasanatmyamadena Manyuna.
The great Lord replied, my dear beautiful wife, you have said that one may go to a friend's house without being invited, and this is true, provided such a friend does not find fault with the guest because of bodily identification and thereby become angry towards him.
Yeah. So Lord Shiva kind of takes the arguments of Mother Sati and refutes one by one, like that. Because there Mother Sati said that we can go to the home of a friend, father, father-in-law without any invitation. No need to worry about any invitation, etc. We can go there. So now taking that into consideration, even though one may be friend or father, but if this is the condition, better not to go. So he says that Tvayoditam Shobhanam Eva Shobhane. Dear wife, what you have said is correct. Tvaya Udipam Shobhanam Eva. Whatever you have said is actually correct. In normal condition, even uninvited, we can go to the homes of friends, fathers, father-in-laws, and well-wishers. No problem. But Now the condition is not that. It is entirely different. Even if uninvited, anahuta api. Ahuta means ahwan. Anahuta means without any invitation. Friends go to their friends if the friends do not see faults. Te yadi anutpadita dosha drushtayo. If they don't have any dosha drushti, the friends don't. When we go uninvited into the home of uninvited guest, if they are happy, that is a good condition. But if they have dosha drushti, they only see the faults, then it is not a good condition to go to that kind of people. Why they have dosha drushti? Because of anger, manyuna, or because of strong pride, baliyasa madena, strong pride, strong mada. How a person becomes angry and becomes proud? Caused by the identification with the body. Anatmya. Atma means one who considers oneself as Atma. Anatma means one who considers oneself with the body. So people who are in bodily identification generally become angry, generally become proud. But those in the mode of on the platform of soul, they'll never become angry. Because they have nothing to do with this material world in that sense. So Prabhupada writes same thing in the purport. Lord Shiva could foresee that as soon as Sati reached her father's house, her father Daksha, being too puffed up because of bodily identification, would be angry at her presence. And although she was innocent and faultless, he would be mercilessly angry towards her. So this is what can happen if she goes to the sacrifice. The friend should not see faults because of anger or strong pride caused by identity with the body. Anatma buddhena or anatma vadena. So this is the condition in which one should not go to the home of one's friend, for woman husband or in-laws house, for man father's house or spiritual master's house. So these are the very close well wishers. So the Vedic understanding is when somebody comes to our home, they are supposed to be treated as Aditi Devo Bhava, as the representative Supreme Lord. So in that case, both the host and guest are benefited. But if this is the condition, it is not good for both. The host by committing offense will be degraded further. The guest by receiving offense, by being neglected or criticized, his mind gets polluted, disturbed. So it is not good for both.
But Atithi Devo Bhava is for everyone, for all conditions.
All
It
conditions.
is not that, as mentioned, that for the ladies, she can go to father-in-law's house or husband's house uninvited. But when we say Atithi Devo Bhava, we can actually go to anybody's house uninvited. And also another point was that here there was a yagya, means something big was saying. So we can go uninvited to these people. That is in normal circumstances, or even when some great thing is happening over there or some ceremony is there, and that time also one can go.
Generally, one can go, no problem. If you see in the villages, I don't know cities, and it may not happen. If some marriage is happening, whether they invite or not invite, they go.
Oh.
The village marriage happening in their homes, people all over the village they come, just sit for the marriage. They may not honor the meal, but they go. Those who are invited for marriage, they will attend the marriage. They honor whatever lunch, and then they go back. Otherwise, general people make sure that okay, some auspicious ceremony is going on, just as a matter of duty, as a matter of custom, like let good happen to them, something like that. So people go. This is not a fault at all.
Yes.
Ah. In cities, even instead of being called difficult.
नॉर्मल और से जाना है तो पहले कॉल नहीं किया आपने.
People just visit, may not be at the same later on also. For example, recently when I was at home, that for our Gruha Pravesh, so during the ceremony, all the relatives were there. But rest of the day and the next day, all the villagers came and they kind of saw and everything. They went. Just as a matter of custom, it's like people want to build cordial relationship with each other. Yeah, but that's all. They come and appreciate, okay, this is nice, this is nice, this is like this. They have different comments to make. That is all there. It is not negatively, but there could be some people who may be envying also. That is there.
Village also.
Of course, everywhere people only. So then,
Yeah, Lord is also, I mean, Lord Shiva is addressed as Bhagwan.
yes, is non-different from Bhagavan only. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. He is Achintya, simultaneously one with the Lord and at the same time different.
Is Jiva also.
He is not Jiva. Who said
No,
Jiva?
no, I'm saying he is not Jiva.
Not Jiva.
For us also, we say we are.
So we may be minutely similar. Infinitely, Lord is we are Anu is Vibhu, but Lord Shiva is also Vibhu, almost Vibhu. He is non-different from Lord Vishnu almost. Huh? Not only Atri past time, but in general also. We discussed many times in third canto.
What
Forgot.
is Atri Pastor?
No, that time they said no, we three are same. Atri Muni was calling for the Ishvara of the universe. The three
That's for
came.
this universe.
Huh?
That is understood.
Huh.
The maintainer, controller. But otherwise, Shiva's position is very bewildering.
No, it is pretty simple. Why wildering?
Sadashiv, then 11 Rudras, then Shiv. I don't know. I mean, this Shiv, what we are worshipping in this material world, is it the same Shiva who's Sadashiv? Then
See,
again Mahavishnu. And
just like there is Vishnu in the spiritual world, he comes down here to take care of the maintenance of the universe, to kill the demons coming in the time in the form of different avatars. Same way, Sadashiva appears in our universe 11 Rudras. So one among the 11 Rudras is Lord Shiva.
Sadashiv appears as 11.
11 Rudras.
Of them, one is Shiva.
One is Shiva.
So now Shiva,
Ah.
what we are talking here is Shiva.
Shiva, yes.
Not
Shiva,
Sadashiv.
not Sadashiva.
No.
Shiva
Sadashiva
is
is one who guards the borders of Vaikuntha. Means if somebody
one who
has
stays
taken-
in Brahmajyoti. We'll discuss that Sadashiva past time will come
It will come.
later on in the upcoming verses.
When we say about the creation also, we said that Vishnu never gets into the creation. Right?
Yes.
It comes through Shiv.
Yes.
Shivji, like Advaita Shiva.
That is also going
the
to come.
glance of.
The glance of Lord
Vishnu.
Vishnu is Lord Shiva.
So
the
that
gl-
is
the gl-
Sadashiva.
That is Sadashiva. The Lord's glance consists of Kala Karma Svabhava. That Kala is Sadashiva.
That
Mahakala Purusha.
Kala.
Kala is Sadashiva.
Time.
1 minute. You said glance is Sadashiv.
See, it is like that. Glance is in one sense glance. But when you go into details of the glance will have three divisions. Kala, Karma, Svabhava. Karma and Svabhava belongs to Jiva. Kala belongs to Lord's potency. That Lord's potency, which is known as Kala, is non-different from Sadashiva.
And Prabhuji, that Rudra which appeared from Brahmaji's this thing and started destroying everything. So that is the same Shiva out of 11 Rudras, one Shiva. That is
Yes.
the same Shiva. who
Same
appeared.
Shiva. About whom?
Same Shiva?
See, from Brahma's Brukuti, there comes 11 Rudras. One among the 11 is Shankara. Bas, okay.
If it was same Shiva, that's Sadashiv.
No, means
He only coming here, na?
Universe we talked about, na, that same Shiva is here.
वो 3 वाले
हाँ,
वो material universe
हाँ.
वो बात नहीं कर रही हूँ. When I say 11 Rudras,
हाँ.
of those 11, one is Shiva,
Hmm.
who's also probably destroyer of
See,
this
one second.
universe.
Don't see the 11 as different people.
Yeah, one.
The 11 are one only, but in 11 forms, at 11 places,
Okay.
for 11 purposes. And these 11 are non-different from Sadashiva. The same Sadashiva only, for the purpose of assisting Lord Vishnu in the material world, comes as 11 Rudras. And the 11 Rudras are non-different from Sadashiva.
वैसे तो सभी एक ही हुए.
वही.
ऐसे भी बोल रही प्रभु. When we say Shiva in this world,
Hmm.
who's also one amongst the three, the
One
main
amongst the three.
deities,
One among Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu.
also,
That Shiva is one among the 11.
and this Shiva is also the same Shiva.
This Shiva is only one among the three, and that one among the three is one among the 11.
This one particular Shiva,
Shiva.
okay, which we worship
Ah.
throughout the material creation, this Shiva is worshipped.
Not only that Shiva, 11 Shivas is worship.
Yeah.
We have so many Jyotirlingas.
Yes.
One Jyotirlinga connected to one Rudra.
Oh, I was just going
Oh,
to
there
ask
are
if
two
Bhakti
Bara
Vilas
hai.
ka.
Jyotirling 12 hai.
Bara, I mean to say, they're all not, all the 11 Jyotirlingas or 12 Jyotirlingas are not just connected to one Shiva only. I'm saying they are connected to some other Shiva forms also. The 11 Rudras are there, none. So one Rudra appeared as one Jyotirlinga here, another Rudra appeared as one Jyotirlinga here, there, like that. Maybe one of the level 11 might have appeared 2-3 places also. Because every Jyotirlinga pastime is different. If you study properly.
Can you say in gist?
I don't know.
And we see in Vraja also there are different like Chakleshwar Madhav, Bhupeshwar Madhav and all those. So all those forms are forms of this Shiva.
Same Shiva.
One among the 11.
Who is guarding the holy Dham? Is there everywhere? Every holy place of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva is there at Dham Rakshak. That is one of the important services. That's how Sadashiva is located there outside the borders of Vaikunta, guarding Vaikunta. Somebody going into Vaikunta, he will make sure that okay, qualified, okay, chalo.
Okay.
So it's like that.
And how is he connected to Aditya?
So Mahavishnu glanced upon Prakriti. That glance consists of Kala. That Kala is Sadashiva. And Sadashiva interacts with Prakriti. That interaction is causing the creation of the universe. And this Mahavishnu, that Sadashiva, combined together appeared as Advaita.
Means Mahavishnu along with his glance appeared as Advaita.
Abhi glance chhod do. Glance have transformed into Sadashiva. That Sadashiva is there always. So Sadashiva and Mahavishnu both combined together appeared as Advaita to do the needful.
So Aditya being two personalities in one.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, some echo is coming.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, if it is okay, it would be nice if they are given mics because we are not able to get the real question they have been asking.
Give the question.
So they are asking about Shiva. Who is this Shiva? Is he one among the 11 Rudras or is one among the 3 principal deities? So some identity of Lord Shiva. About that we were discussing.
Okay. But can a mic be given to them?
I don't have mic.
Okay, next class se hoga. Is it possible?
No, mic will not be possible.
Okay, fine.
So the best thing is that you please come to the temple.
No, I can't come, Prabhuji. I really can't.
Please.
No, Prabhuji, no, nahi hoga.
Okay, no problem.
I really, this is something I myself would like to be there.
Okay, no problem. Hare Krishna. So then, Sati continuing. So Sati says that, how is it possible for my father, who has wisdom, can see false like an ordinary fool? My father is not an ordinary person, is direct son of Brahma, is filled with lot of Vedic knowledge and taught directly from my father, my grandfather Brahmaji. Education and other assets are only cause a problem for the demons, not for my father. How can you say that? Maybe the demons may be hostile to the saintly people, but my father is not so. He is a gentleman. How can you say that? So now Lord Shiva gives a counter to that. Vidya tapo vittava purvaya kulai satam gunai sadbira sattametare smrutau hatayam brutamana durdarsha sabda na pashyanti hidama bhuyasam.
Although the 6 qualities, education, austerity, wealth, beauty, youth, and heritage, are for the highly elevated, one who is proud of possessing them becomes blind, and thus he loses his good sense and cannot appreciate the glories of great personalities.
Here the question is, no problem. The education and all other good qualities are very good for good people. But for if the good people lose discrimination, atayam smrutau, if their good understanding of the good education is lost, there is no point of having so much education. Ravana is also greatly educated person. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu are also greatly educated persons. So what is the outcome? So something like that. Now Lord Shiva is continuing. When discrimination is lost, hatayam smrutau, by possessing the 6 qualities of the saintly. There are 6 qualities which are glorified as the saintly qualities. But for a person By having these 6 qualities abundantly, if his good sense of intelligence is lost, his discrimination is lost. What are the 6 good qualities? Knowledge, vidya, austerity, tapa, wealth, vitta, and body, vapu, being born in a what do you say, wonderful family and being possessed of good body, beautiful and stout body, strong and stout. And vaya, youthful nature, and kulai, the family heritage, which become false in the demons when people become blinded by pride. Durdarsha, when they become blinded, durdarsha, their vision is lost. Why? Because of pride, stabda. And nourished by those qualities, become callous. They do not see the glory of great souls. When a person endowed with all these 6 wonderful qualities, knowledge, austerity, wealth, body touch, excuse me, youth and family, they will never be able to see the good qualities in others because they consider they are the best. For them, the rest of the universe becomes insignificant. So that is the problem. So that's what Lord Shiva is saying here. When the power of discrimination is destroyed by the 6 qualities, they are blinded by pride, which is nourished by knowledge, austerity, wealth, body, age, and birth, because they think themselves to be the most learned, the most pious, the most austere, the most wealthy, the most strong, the most beautiful, and being born in a greatest family lineage. And they fail to see the good qualities in other great souls. Bhuyasam. Durdarsha Bhuyasam. That's what Mother Kunti says. Janmaishwarya Shutashribir Yedamana Madapuman. Naivarhati Akitat Navidatum Vai Twamakinchana Gocharam. You are only obtained by those who are Akinchanas, who remain Akinchana, who do not want to identify themselves with the material wealth and other material qualities. But those people who are puffed up with their material wealth and qualities, so they become proud immediately. So it's like that. How does discrimination become destroyed by those qualities? When these qualities are glorified as Sadgunai, good qualities of the great souls, how can these good qualities will take away the discrimination of such people? The reason is the good qualities of the devotees become fault for the demons. The problem is when a person possesses these good qualities, that person thinks that I only possess these good qualities, no one else can have these good qualities. By mistake, if somebody displays or demonstrates those good qualities, they cannot tolerate. They try to find fault with him and then criticize that person, etc. etc. They act like the demons because though the milk is sweet, but when it is touched by snake's mouth, it becomes poisonous. Milk by its very nature, it is sweet. But when the milk comes in contact with the snake, just by accepting one drop of milk by the snake, the entire milk becomes poisonous because the poison is there in the mouth of the snake in that sense. So same way, so milk is like the good qualities. If the good qualities are accepted by or good qualities are there with a snake-like person, even though they may be good, but they become poisonous, useless. The qualities manifest according to the person. It is not the problem with the qualities, problem with the mentality of the person. So it's like that. So they cannot tolerate seeing good qualities in others because they consider themselves to be the topmost person who possesses all these good qualities full in fullness. So that is the problem of Mada and Manyu, Smurta, Hara. So their discrimination is lost. So in that way. So Prabhupada says in the purport that unless until all these good qualities are employed in the service of the Supreme Lord, one can never be, then only one is saved from the attack of these good qualities. Without using these good qualities in service of Supreme Lord, one is sure to be affected by these good qualities. That's why we study in Bhagavad Gita, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. The symptom of a person who is knowledgeable is Vinaya, humility. Otherwise, by nature, a materially well-educated person obviously becomes proud, or any of these 6 aspects.
The ultimate cause of all this will zero down to bodily identification only.
Yes.
The one who will have that mother for whatever quality one has, because he is at the level of bodily identification. If one is not at that level, then he will obviously not develop any pride for any of the qualities.
So bodily identification was already addressed in the previous verse. So even if you keep that as a normal human being, as a normal living entity, so at least they should be careful of these qualities. But Daksha is, because last chapter we discussed, and in the same chapter in the beginning we discussed that since Brahma made him as the head of the Prajapatis, he thinks that he is the head of everyone in the universe. He thinks even the head of Lord Shiva also. That was the problem with him.
He considered himself even greater than Brahma, was his father, right?
Yeah, in one instance that Brahma can't even understand that my daughter, who is beautiful and very aristocratic, and wanted me to give my daughter to this person who is living in crematorium.
And also, like this, the next sacrifice which started, for that even Brahma was not invited. It is mentioned in this. No? So I was confused that time that Shiva was not invited. Okay, understood. But why the Brahma also, his father also was not invited?
I don't know. Specifically not mentioned anywhere in the verse. Okay, हो सकता है. Brahma and Vishnu not invited. पता नहीं. Reason we don't know. But we are not worried about Brahma, whether Brahma is there or not. We are only talking about Shiva and Daksha. In between both of them, what is the dynamics? What's happening between them? So in that way.
I had just one thing, one small doubt here, that when somebody has knowledge, austerity and other qualities also, how they lose the ability to discriminate?
Obviously, it is by nature it will happen. It is not a big deal to know. You can see around us only so many examples.
If I have knowledge, the real knowledge I'm talking about.
Which real knowledge?
How? How do you?
Not Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Not Bhagavad Gita knowledge.
What knowledge are we talking?
Oh, whatever knowledge. From the Vedic culture point of view, Vedic knowledge, the knowledge of the Vedas. I can logic and nyaya, etc. All these things. Mimamsa, nyaya, sankhya, that knowledge. Not bhakti knowledge. भक्ति नॉलेज से बार दिन भर भर के ह्यूमिलिटी बोलते रहते, वो सुन के थक जाते आदमी.
But in the again there also we may talk a lot, but one may not actually possess it.
Yeah, for example, we are all there. We may be speaking so much, but when it comes to behaving, we may not so always. So
these are subtle.
Because we identify still with the body only. Not that we have reached to the platform of soul.
Even for us also, it all depends with whom we are interacting. When we are interacting with elders, by nature we have respect to the age. When we are interacting with younger, anyway, they have respect for us. It may not be so much. When we are interacting with equals, for us, my equals, for you, your equals. These points you can observe. With others, we can never observe. With others, life is simple. No issues. बड़ों से बात करते समय कुछ issue नहीं है अभी. They are not worried about our education and we are not worried about their education. They are elder, but we, by nature, we offer respects to them. When somebody is younger to us, they will offer respects to us. So there is no clash of opinions. But when it comes to equals, we have all these problems.
It's a myth that youngers respect. In today's time.
At least give a benefit of doubt. Give a benefit of doubt.
So ideally we should be associating more with the equals so that we know our real side.
With equals, we get to purify. we get the opportunity to get purified. Others, there is the opportunity that we become proud.
And equals in terms of knowledge, age, what?
Okay, to start with age. To start with age and profession, like-mindedness. So in that way. So by the way, if they are same age, same profession, the knowledge parameters also almost same. Maybe Some intelligence may be different for different people, but at least they are exposed to similar kind of environment in that sense. So it's like that. So this is the inquiry by Mother Sati. Okay, now I mean, but Sati said that he is my father, by the way. It's okay, I mean, whatever it is, but he's my father. For which, so even though he's my father, I have affection for him, he has affection for me, then things may be different. May not be the way you are talking about him. In general, it may be happening to others, I accept, but my father may not be so bad. So then Lord Shiva continues. Naita Naitadrshanam Swajana Vyapekshaya Grahan Pratiyad Anavastitatmanam Yebhyagant Yebhyagatam Vakradiya Bichakshate Aropita Brubiramarshanakshibi.
One should not go to anyone's house, even on the consideration of his being a relative or a friend, when the man is disturbed in his mind and looks upon the guest with raised eyebrows and angry eyes.
Yeah. Even though one may be close friend, father, or so and so, well wisher, but still, under some circumstances, one should be careful. One should not go to the houses of persons who have disturbed minds. Ana Vastita Atmanam. Avastita Atmanam means one's Atma means one's soul can be, one's mind can be, one's heart can be in a normal position. But Anavastita means when it is not in normal position, when it is disturbed because of so many external other factors. And in that time, if at all you go to their home, then what they will do? They will look at the guests with crooked mind, Vakradiya, raised eyebrows, Aropita Brubir, like this. And then angry glances, Amarashana Akshibi. No. With crooked mind, raised eyebrows, angry glances, while considering them to be relatives. Swajana Vyapekshaya. If you the people no, not like that. When the people are disturbed, even though they may be your relatives, but if you go to them, because of the disturbance of their mind, they already have crooked mind. As soon as we go, they think that why this fellow has come here. Is he come to cheat me? Is he come to harm me? Is he come to criticize me? Is he come to something like that? With raised eyebrows. Last time only I gave you warning. Never ever come in front of me. Why did you came? Why did you come once again? And then angry glances. They don't speak, but their glance speaks a lot. Their raised eyebrows and their glance and their crooked mind. The mind, there are so many thoughts are going in the mind. Why this fellow has come here? Did he come to take revenge or what? What is this? What is that? Like, so many things are happening in the mind, and of course nowadays people start shouting at. They don't mind. They speak garlic, all these things. But at least here Lord Shiva is saying that without speaking, just by the raised eye glances, one should understand. Even though that kind of person may be one's father, one's husband, one's guru, one's father-in-law, or one's what are the four people, no?
Spiritual master.
Guru is it?
Yeah, guru. No, one for ladies,
Husband.
it is no. It is
Father-in-law,
father-in-law.
husband.
One's friend, husband, father-in-law, and father. Yeah. Friend is for everyone, common. For women, husband and father-in-law. For men, father and spiritual master. Like that, 5 people. So even though they, one can go to their home whenever one can want, but when those people are disturbed mind, when they are not having good terms with you, one should not go. Because they never want to receive you. They might be friends in the past, but now they are not feeling like friend. So even such kind of people, consider them to be relatives, one should not go. Because they are not considering you as relative. So if you consider them as relative, if you go, it is not good for you and not good for them also.
Good relationship because we are your relatives.
Relationship
Close
is relationship is the endeavor of both people, not one person. When both people are having the extended nature, then relationship moves on.
Mistakes, misunderstanding, but you don't go, then how will the problem get solved?
needed कुछ problem solution तो होने वाला है. But in this case also Prabhuji is like for Sati, if we see from her angle, like she has that she is manifesting through her talk the affection for father, but at no point we see that that affection or respect for the husband, because whenever entire episode occurred of insulting Siva, she also must be there because she also must have gone for the sacrifice along with her husband. So in front of her, such an insult of her husband was done. So she doesn't have any consideration of that. Ki itna sab hua tha, means my father behaved in such a way. Still, she's ready to
No.
forget and
Not-
forgive everything.
Not like that. See, we have one point I thought of discussing a little later, but now you see, it is not that she is not having respect towards her husband. She followed husband. It is a long time past. In the last chapter we discussed, last class we discussed. It's not 1 year, 2 year, many decades have passed. For those many years, she never been to her father's home. But now she's not going just to see her father. Her main intention is to see her sisters. Sisters, mother, also father, by the way. All these years, she never expressed this desire to Shiva. And one more important point we are going to discuss in the future verses. The statements or the arguments raised by Mother Parvati are on the emotional level. The arguments raised by the counter arguments raised by Lord Shiva on the basis of logic. So we have right brain, left brain.
Yeah.
The feminine nature, womanly nature. The womanly nature is men generally emotional type, the left brain type. The masculine nature is analytical and logical right side brain. So there is always difference of opinion between these two. So when emotion supersedes logic, does not work. When logic supersedes emotion, does not work. Even this we can see in our homes also. Generally, the men are always logic oriented, or men are always emotional oriented. So it's like that.
In the later verses also it's mentioned on Sati basically she went there
She went.
just to glorify Shiva. I mean, she knew that she's going to do this, and she.
Oh, that is all Bhagavad Katha characters. There is a derived lesson.
I think
Derived lesson. That is a derived lesson. It is not
Maybe
mentioned.
Sati and Parvati are same.
Sati, after this pastime, later on she appears as daughter of Himalaya. Her name is Parvati. Same Sati
Okay.
again appears.
Because many times we've heard that Parvati performed a lot of tapa to
Ah,
get
yes.
Shiva as a husband. So I was confused between here it is said that Brahmaji is told that you give your daughter to.
This is Sati. This is happening at the beginning of Swayambhu Manvantara.
Okay. So afterwards that is Parvati and she did the tapa to get Shiva.
so Shiva doesn't age over.
He is Lord Vishnu himself. Why does he age?
Because Prabhupada always says that Krishna never gets old, but Shiva also doesn't get old.
Brahma also does not get old.
ब्रह्मा का तो दाढ़ी बताते हैं हर उसमें
वो हमारा लोग रखते हैं, बाहर का लोग रखते हैं, इसका में दाढ़ी नहीं रहता है ब्रह्मा जी का, वो नहीं तो चाह रहे हाथ दाढ़ी. So one of the 64 qualities, Brahma has 50 qualities, na? One of the 50 qualities is Navayavan, always remains youthful. Brahma also never gets old.
that 50 qualities हमको भी मिल सकता है.
Flash करेगा तो क्या अभी ये कलयुग में कुछ नहीं है.
54, no, 50.
So, like that. Even a father of this nature should be rejected. This is what Lord Shiva is saying. One should not go to the house of a friend, father, father-in-law, guru, or husband if they are possessing all these qualities, considering that they are relatives. You may think that they are relatives, but they are not thinking you as their relative. So how will they welcome you? So like that Lord Shiva is saying. If one goes, one should go thinking them as enemies. If at all one is going, already prepare your mind that they are enemies. Anyway, they are going to criticize me or they do not receive. Then no problem. If you think that they are relatives, when you go there, when they don't receive, you feel so much pain. This is one of the point which Lord Shiva says in the next verses. One important aspect. But even the low-minded have affection for their children and husbands. Marvati is saying that. And Lord Shiva is only saying, even the low-minded have affection for their own children and husbands. Prabhupada writes in the purport, the tiger has affection for its own cubs, tiger or lion. When some other animals coming to harm the cubs, the tiger never tolerates. But this you cannot see in Daksha. So like that Lord Shiva is saying. Even the low-minded will have affection for their children and husbands. Even this is not certain for those with disturbed minds. But for the people with disturbed minds, you cannot expect this. They do not have any affection for their own children also. Then what to speak of others? They will see you with angry eyes and raised brows. Their only intention is seeing with angry eyes is that मैं तो बुलाया नहीं क्यों आए आप?
It says not the purpose that tigers are very kind to their cubs, but it is also known that sometimes the tiger only will eat them. Prabhupada ne mentioned.
Okay, हो सकता है. But first point we should take. Even tiger also, which is very ferocious for others, will have affection for themselves. But a person with a disturbed mind does not even have affection for their own children. So that point we should consider. Maybe sometimes they may eat if they don't get any food. It could be like that.
Prabhuji, other relations I understood because they are meant on godly platform. But I was just wondering for Guru also, if Guru is upset with you or angry with you, you're not supposed to go.
At least as long as he is angry. Here the point is that when they are disturbed mind, that is important point. It is not that you should not go anytime. As Prabhuji mentioned, if you don't go out, the relationship will be rectified.
Even with a guru, suppose say for example, you are my Siksha Guru, and for some reason I have done something where you are upset. Okay, should I avoid coming to you and say sorry or something like that? Or
for the time being, it is better for both.
is it?
Yes. When he's already angry, if you come again, he becomes more angry. That will disturb your mind. It will be on his part, it will be more offensive. Is it not?
But won't the Guru think that this person has come with the intent of apologizing?
Forget about all these things we just said, na? Hrita, Spruta. His knowledge has been stolen away by indiscriminate behavior. Now knowledge is gone. He is the disturbed mind. Mind is not in proper sane condition.
But then how is a Guru?
It's okay. That's what you have to understand. These are dynamics.
पानी भी अगर बहुत ज्यादा रिपल्स आ रहे हैं तो just keep it like that, वो शांत हो जाएगा.
थोड़ा टाइम वेट करना पड़ता है. उतना जल्दी क्या है?
रिपल्स आ रहे हैं तभी उसमें और एक्ट करेंगे तो और.
मतलब I'm just saying.
I'm thinking of Guru because Guru is the last and only hope for us. When we
See, wait. Guru means don't take only in terms of spiritual master. Guru can be normal teacher also. Here in this context, Guru means elderly person. Any elderly person is Shiksha Guru for us. Don't see everything from our Bhakti point of view. Here for us, Guru means Diksha Guru. Or that Shiksha Guru sits in the Vyasa and gives big lectures. Not just that only. Guru is anyone. Our uncle is a Guru for us. Is he not? During our childhood, he guided us. So what to study, which subject to study or not.
Mother is the first Guru.
Mother is Guru. Of course, father is already included. Other than the parents, all elders are our Gurus. For a sibling, the elder brother is a Guru. Elder sister is a Guru. Is it not? So Guru is a generic term.
I thought it's spiritual.
That is the problem. We see everything with a glance of Krishna consciousness. Just come out to that and see it in a neutral point of view. The Guru term is used for father-in-law. For a daughter-in-law, father-in-law is a Guru. For a son, father is a Guru. Uncle and everyone. The Guru is a generic term.
Yeah, then it becomes a generic term. Then, लेकिन आपने एक मैसेज दे दिया.
हाँ?
आने का नहीं गुस्सा भी रहता.
See, this, I also had some confusion. Dronacharya is the Guru of Pandavas. So how should we address him? In English, should we call him as spiritual master or teacher? What is the appropriate word?
He was teaching archery. He was not spiritual master.
He taught Vedas also.
Not
Vedas
Bhakti.
also being taught.
गुरुकुल में गए मतलब सभी सिखाया
हाँ.
होगा ना.
Vedas also padhate. See, it's like Brahmanas are taught only Vedas full time. The Kshatriyas are taught partly Vedas, partly archery. But in the movies and all, we only talk about the archery. We never see they are studying the Vedas. Did we ever? In any Mahabharata serial or any movie, something like that?
Actually,
Because for
महाभारत में
Kshatriyas,
तो
because for a movie which has a lot of adventure and all, showing this archery is excites people watching. Studying the Vedas, it is not so much exciting. That's why scriptures are all with the stories of the Kshatriyas. तो ब्राह्मण का स्टोरी क्या रहेगा? वही स्टोरी हर दिन वही रहेगा, पढ़ाई 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 पढ़ाई, लोग बोर रहेगा, इसलिए ज्यादा बताते नहीं, थोड़ा एक्साइटमेंट चाहिए, इसलिए हम देखते नहीं. Every student is taught Vedas. Even the Vaishya student also taught Vedas, also their business traits, whatever they are supposed to do in their upcoming gross order, both are taught.
So then how do you address Drona?
Huh? So now I am saying how to address Drona is a spiritual master, because कैसे?
He's teaching the Vedas. He's the one who is supposed to give it.
Here the problem comes. Vedas are the generic knowledge. It's from one sense it is spiritual master only, but other sense, are we taught Vedas in our ISKCON institution? What we are taught, just Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, nothing more than that. Are the essence of Bhagavatam in the form of nectar of devotion. These three books are nothing more than that. The examples are from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Plus, nothing else. We have not taught any other Vedic literature, but Pandavas are not like that. They have taught all the Vedas.
Spiritual master is the one who teaches the Bhakti Shastras only.
It has to be like that only, no? How? Otherwise, in so many verses we have read Vedavad, Virata, Partha. So, in fact, Vedic
ज्ञान
knowledge is
मार्गी योग मार्गी के जो गुरु है जी,
condemned in one sense.
Our speakers are kind of squeezing out it. Nowhere Vedas are condemned.
ज्ञान मार्गी and योग मार्गी जिनसे सीखते हैं,
हाँ.
so they don't call them as spiritual master, or we are not supposed to call them as their spiritual master.
That's what, when you see through the eyes of the Krishna consciousness, it is a different terminology.
पहले तो सिखा सिखा के ये चश्मा चढ़ा देते हैं, फिर अभी बोलते उतार उतार के देखो करके, तो फिर देखना है.
किसी ने बोला था?
No, इससे
बोला तो
गुरु
नहीं
को
देखा,
ऐसा मत, वो चश्मे से मत देखो, इसको वो चश्मे से मत देखो.
ठीक है, वो एग्जाम देने के लिए देख लेंगे, बाकी नहीं देखने वाला कोई.
It's not like that. See, in the Vedic tradition, they have time. They have that intelligence to understand all the subject matter. They could go through everything. The Pandavas know how to perform yoga. Arjuna knows how to disappear and go to some other place. Yes, they are knowers of all the knowledges. They are adept at each and every Vedic knowledge. But do we have that capacity? स्कूल में सब पढ़ के वो पढ़ने का आदत छोड़ गए, अभी पढ़ने को बोलेंगे तो मर जाएंगे हम. So अभी what we are supposed to study, we are not studying that, we are studying something else. So in that way, we have lost track of it. So now, from ISKCON point of view, Drona cannot be called a spiritual master, because he's not teaching just Bhakti. He's teaching other things. He's like the martial teacher. Like that we may treat him. So if you see Krishna consciousness class, spiritual master means those who are only teaching how to practice Bhakti. But in general, spiritual master means those who are teaching Vedic science, which includes karma, jnana, yoga, Bhakti, which are all necessary per person according to the position of one's varna and ashrama. It is not that a grihastha can do away with his responsibility without practicing karma. Karma is the main thing that one grihastha has to perform. So how can we say that no karma? What is that verses we say? Our devotees say, no karma, no jnana, no yoga, kevala bhakti, nothing else.
Which verse is that?
Bhukti mukti siddhi kami sakala ashanti. Krishna bhakta nishkama atayeva shanti. But the problem is that who is speaking that verse to whom? That is important. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, one great soul speaking to another great soul. And we repeat their words verbatim as if we are a third great soul. Just like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Ramananda Rai were discussing in Kovur, what is the topmost thing? Varnashrama. Yeho bhai, yeho bhai, kaho yaar. That who is discussing with whom? Lord Krishna in the mode of Srimati Radharani discussing with Lalita Devi. वो दोनों कहाँ हैं, हम कहाँ हैं? हम बोलते हैं हाँ ये बाह्य ये बाह्य ये बाह्य ये बाह्य, only pure bhakti.
But at least we aspire for that, na Prabhuji. Like means we are not at that level. But of course, we are not going for karma or jnana. That much is for sure when we are in this.
A nursery student, if he aspires for first class, that is good. Nursery student cannot aspire for postdoctoral course.
So what you are saying means I'm not getting your point only. That what you mean we should also try to see karma thing, jnana thing also because we are not at that level.
I'm not like that. I mean to say that prematurely never criticize anything.
Ah,
Are you getting my point? Prematurely do not criticize in the name of being
because we are in the bhakti.
superior with
Yeah.
having superior complex. What we have given is the topmost, but we are not topmost. Just because we are in the circle of the topmost people, we don't become topmost. We may be in the association of topmost people. Our acharyas are all topmost acharyas. The Goswamis, all the Guru Parampara, our Param Gurus are all topmost. But are we? Just by being coming in their circle? They have the right to criticize. But do we? So this is my point. I'm not saying what is wrong, what is right. So this is my
But it happens
observation.
so very naturally, Prabhuji means it is not for जैसे pride की बात की हमने अभी, it is not at that level, लेकिन because we have been इतना ingrained हो जाता है भक्ति के thoughts कि दूसरा कुछ होगा तो you may not insult them but you tend to neglect that.
That is also not correct.
Because you feel कि मुझे तो ये रास्ते से जाना है तो मैं ये क्यों सुनूं.
That's what we discussed in the teachings of Lord Kapila very elaborately. Why did Mother Devoti request Lord Kapila to speak about jnana and yoga? We discussed about it. I remember.
So sir, we should know about it.
Ah.
Not that we need to practice it.
Ah.
We should know about it.
We should know about it. Yeah, we should know about it and never ever criticize them. They are meant for something else. You want this, you do it, but don't criticize them unnecessarily.
As it is being a grahastha, we perform karma mishra bhakti only. हाँ अनन्य भक्ति वैसे ही कर रहे हैं. हाँ वो तो सवाल ही नहीं.
सोच में है. So it is like that. Hare Krishna, devotees online able to follow? Any questions till now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So that was the condition between Lord Shiva and Daksha. Even though the good quality person might have good qualities, but if a person wrongly identifies oneself as a greatly learned person, greatly austere person with all these qualities, that person's discrimination will be lost. And that kind of person becomes hostile even one's own close relatives, friends and children also. So in that condition, it is better that they should not be approached because they will reciprocate with angry glances, raised eyebrows, etc. Then Sati says that Daksha is my father. I can tolerate his such kind of behavior. No problem. He is my father. I will tolerate. Please allow me to go. Then Lord Shiva says, Tataribirna vyatate silimukai seterditango rudayena dhuyata swanam yata vakradiyam duruktubir divanisham tapyati marmatadita.
Continued. If one is hurt by the arrows of an enemy, one is not as aggrieved as when cut by the unkind words of a relative. For such a grief continues to rend one's heart day and night.
Injured in the limbs by the arrows fired by enemies, one does not suffer much and can sleep in the night, thinking that, okay, today you injured me, in the next battle I will injure you. It's quite common. It is not that illegally they are fighting. This is in terms of Kshatriyas from the Vedic culture point of view. Nowadays it is they find for a what you can say weak movement of other person to hit. In the dead of night going alone, they attack. That is not the Vedic understanding. Battlefield. Okay, today you might have hit me so strongly, tomorrow I'll hit you. So they prepare their mind and go to sleep arams in the night time. So, but however, injured by the harsh words uttered by the relatives, Marma Tadita Swanam Duruktibir, Swanam and sworn relatives, Duruktibir, bad words, Marma Tadita, which actually disturb one's heart, of crooked mind, Vakra Diyam, whose mind, whose understanding is crooked, one suffers day and night, Diva Nisham Tapyanti, with distressed heart, Rudayena Dhuyata, the heart will be burning. I was thinking that he's my friend, he's my relative, he's my close friend, this, that. How can you speak like this? So this kind of bad word, but the sharp, hard, piercing words of a relative will disturb a person for entire life. So that's why Lord Shiva is saying that. No problem, you may think he's your father, but kindly note that even if a envious person, a enemy criticizes, scolds, don't feel so bad because you know he's enemy. This is what can be expected from enemy. It is natural that is expected, it's coming out. When you get opportunity, you will do the needful. But when a relative who is supposed to be affectionate, when the relative behaves like this, which is not anticipated, then you can never sleep with peaceful mind.
So it's applicable to Lord Shiva also.
Huh?
Maybe Lord Shiva felt the same thing.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what we discussed in the previous class, last verse, 15th verse. So this anger, hatred, all this behavior manifested in Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva interacts closely with Tamoguna. But it is clearly mentioned. He goes through the grief and all these pains like a shadow. Lord Shiva, by his own nature, is Atmarama. But because he's also always closely connected with Tamoguna, he is the Lord of Tamoguna. So sometimes, as a shadowy behavior, he behaves like being affected by all these bad qualities. But the same things when you see in Krishna, like Damodar Lila, Lord Krishna also went through anger, all these things. But those anger and all these things will increase bliss, transcendental bliss. But when in the case of Shiva, it is actually causes grief. That's how it is meant. That's why Shiva is speaking all these things. So it is like that.
In fact, Shiva did exhibit.
In the future chapter we'll see. Because sometimes seems to be it is required. Because other person is not able to listen. So the best thing is for his benefit, it should be done like that sometimes. Limbs pained by the arrows pierced by an enemy do not hurt so much, since one can still sleep. रात को सो सकते. Injured by harsh words of relatives, one suffers pain day and night with a distressed heart. Hridayana Duyata. Such friends are worse than enemies. So better not to go to the home of such friends. You may think that you can tolerate the behavior of your father, but last time it was me. This time it will be you. It will be very difficult for you to go through sleep. Kindly remember this. Analyze this and then go. So Lord Shiva was speaking logically. Mother Parvati is on the emotional platform. Sati, sorry. Same thing we see in the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. Who is Sunati for Dhruva? Stepmother, like mother only, no? So when she spoke, Urucha Durvacho Baner Na Binne Shrete Hridi. Durvacho Baner. The words are like sharp arrows, but Na Shrete Hridi. Dhruva Maharaj could not tolerate them. When Nardamuni came and trying to give good instructions, and Dhruva said that, my dear sir, whatever instructions you are giving, they are good for a Brahmana. By nature, I am a Kshatriya. Now, my heart is like a broken pot. Whatever water you may try to put in that pot, The water can never stay in a broken pot. They will keep going away. So all your good instructions are like that. My heart is already pierced by the sharp arrows of my stepmother. I cannot understand what you are saying. If at all you want to tell me, please tell me that what is that? Padam Tribhuvanotkrustam Jigisho Sadhu Vartmabi. Kindly prescribe a Sadhu Vartma, a bona fide path, in order to get a position which is superior in the three planetary systems. Padam Tribhuvanotkrustam, the topmost position among the three planetary systems. Topmost position. In order to get that, if you can prescribe something, please do the needful. Otherwise, my dear sir, please move on. So that will be
How
the result.
we analyze Prahlad Maharaj in this light, because Prahlad Maharaj also the own father, he was piercing arrows as well as the physical arrows also he was trying to pierce. So, but in Prahlad Maharaj we have not heard like that emotional turmoil or something. He was in the Sattva Guna platform, that is why. Or
No. See, Dhruva Maharaj, now after taking instruction from Narada Muni, practiced bhakti. By the touch of Lord Vishnu's Shanka, he was revived of all his Vedic knowledge. In the case of Prahlad Maharaj, he was thoroughly educated for hundreds of years while he was in the womb. When he was in the womb, Narada Muni was teaching everything to him. Did Narada Muni teach everything to Dhruva? No. He just briefly told, go to Tapovan and make a deity and offer whatever you get there and perform Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti with Ashtanga Yoga. That's all. 3-4 instructions only. Okay. But प्रहलाद महाराज का कितना सेंचुरी हुआ पता नहीं, कितना साल तक बोल रहा था पता नहीं.
Was already practicing bhakti, Prahlad Maharaj.
He was practicing because he heard everything in the womb.
Yeah.
That's why he was practicing. And for Dhruva, it is just beginning now.
He's saying before in going in the womb also he was practicing.
But from the womb he was practicing bhakti,
from the
Prahlad
womb,
Maharaj, after hearing from Narada Muni.
He heard only, did not practice in the womb.
When is the practice coming?
He heard in the womb, while in the womb. After coming out.
But that was long time now.
No, वही हुआ ना, you heard it, you practice, स्मरण ही कर देते ना भगवान का.
Good. You got the point.
That is one of the main angles of bhakti, no?
Yes. Smaran. Yes. Perfect. Perfect.
Realize so.
भी होगा क्या मालूम.
Thank you. So then still Sati says that, so my dear Lord, don't worry that I go there and my father will not like, I don't expect that my father will do like that. So when I go, my father will speak nicely and cordial to me. I don't expect father will do like that. I don't think that it will happen the way, to the extent you are thinking about it. You are too much thinking. It may not be so bad, something like that. So now Lord Shiva says,
Here, one thing what I'm liking about Shiva is that when he was insulted, right, he did not react. But when he's trying to convince his wife, that time that pain could be seen subtly. That you know what, I went through this, and you be careful, you don't go.
Okay, I went through, I tolerated. But if you go through, you cannot tolerate.
Yeah, so
that is the problem.
He tolerated, but that pain is visible now, you know, which earlier, like Shiva just walked off. He said, unnecessary, if I stay more, even Nandishwara will offend more. So he just walked off. But now when he's telling his wife about it, then like warning in such a way that, hello, I've already experienced this, so please be careful, you know. So here you see that Shiva did feel bad.
Yes. So now Lord Shiva continues. Vyaktam tvamuktva vitkrishtagate prajapate priyatmajanam asisu brume mata tatapi manam napitu prapasyaye madashrayatka paritapyate yata.
My dear white complexion wife, it is clear that of the many daughters of Daksha, you are the best. Yet you will not be honored at his house because of your being my wife. Rather, you will be sorry that you are connected with. You will be sorry that you are connected with.
So when Parvati said, Sati said that, sorry, you don't have to worry about that. My father is very much affectionate to me. He will not behave with me like this. So then Lord Shiva is saying, Vyaktam tvam utkrishta gate prajapate priyatmajanam asisubru me mata. Priya Atmajanam, among all your daughter, all the daughters of Daksha, you may be a greatly affectionate daughter unto him because you are the youngest one. Out of 16 daughters, Sati is the youngest. Generally, parents will have affection for a lot of affection for small children. Oh, beautiful eyed wife, it is clear that you are the favorite of Daksha among all his daughters. I know that. I have seen many times in the past. Why? Because of your excellent qualities, because of your obedient nature and wonderful qualities. So here this is a subtle point. Lord Shiva is saying that your father treated you as a favorite daughter, not because he has favoritism towards you. Instead, because you possessed all good qualities. By the way, he became favorite of you. In the previous chapters, Vidura told that Duhitra Vassala. How could Daksha tolerate the death of his own daughter? Because he was very well known as the affectionate to his fair daughters. Duhitra Vassala. He has a lot of affection for his daughters. Now Lord Shiva is telling that Tvam Prajapate Priya Atmajanam Asi. Among all his 16 daughters, Daksha had more affection for you because you possess more wonderful qualities. Indirectly, Lord Shiva is telling that Daksha's affection is not a natural affection because by possessing lot of good qualities, you have attracted his affection.
Will it be always like that?
At least in the case of Sati. Because the concomitant result is that if at all Daksha had some affection for Sati, even though Daksha might have hated son-in-law, he should have been affection to his daughter. So he would have always said that. So my dear daughter, please forgive me. I have given you to somebody else. I have spoiled your life. Like that, he would have said if he had really affection for her daughter. But later on we see that he is not even looked at his daughter. Means what? उनको ना daughter नहीं चाहिए, son-in-law भी नहीं चाहिए.
There was not that real affection.
So Lord Shiva indirectly indicating that since you possess all the good qualities, Utkrishta Gate, all the qualities are the topmost level. So he showed some favoritism towards you. And now, in the way, his affection was being attracted by your good qualities. It is not his natural affection. Because you commanded those affection because of your wonderful qualities. So, in that way.
Why it is said, Prabhuji, that rather you will be sorry that you are connected with me. And Lord Shiva is saying that Sati will feel sorry because she is the wife of Shiva, like that.
See, now, Sati might have a question. Before marriage, my father treated me very nicely. Abhi is not treating me very nicely because of you. Because my father and you have some problem, and because of you, is not treating me well.
Okay, that way.
So that is another angle to see. But here, the Lord Shiva is telling that this is my opinion. He is not insisting on that. This is my understanding. This can happen like this.
ब्रह्मा जी को
कोई थे ही ना बीच में.
However, though your father had a lot of affection for you in the past, however, your father will not respect you since he is tormented by your relationship with me. Your father does not like me. Since you have been my wife, he will not like you also. Now he is not treating you as his daughter. He is treating you as the wife of Lord Shiva. So now, whether father has natural affection for daughter? So, in that way.
Asking out of curiosity. In Kaliuga also such things happen. I mean, fathers really don't accept daughters if they marry somebody. I mean, not of his
होता है ना,
choice.
रिलेशन भी कट ऑफ करते कितने
आते हैं
होते
घर
हैं।
पे तो फिर
होते हैं।
नहीं वो गुस्सा होता है, कुछ साल नहीं बोलते, पर फिर जब आती है तो अच्छा ऐसा बुलाते नहीं.
पर वो पहले से जैसा भी नहीं रहता है कई
So recently in Andhra Pradesh, so many cases happened. The daughter, studying out of fiction or whatever attraction, married someone against the will of the parents. Father killed daughter as well as the married
हाँ
person.
हाँ काफी होते हैं.
काफी होते हैं.
That is called also some terminology, honor killing या ऐसा कुछ तो
Whatever, I don't know.
terminology.
Yeah, honor killing. When their fame and prestige has gone in the society, something like that. Many times they only kill that male person, but sometimes they kill daughter also. So recently, in the last couple of years, a lot of cases happened in Andhra Pradesh.
Yeah, many times it happened. And I have
Fame,
heard
name के
cases
लिए.
after marriage also they have killed the daughter also and son-in-law.
Yeah, after marriage only. They kind of eloped from the whole family, they get married and they came, they are staying here and there. When they come to know about their whereabouts, dead of night they go and kill them. Lot of movies came on this aspect also.
And son-in-law को भी kill करते कभी-कभी without thinking what will happen to the daughter.
Yeah.
But in the whole incidents, Prabhuji, like Daksha has never accepted Lord Shiva's position as Lord. Because if that was somewhere at least in his mind, इतना insulting ये नहीं आता था ना. Yeah, we should see Daksha as a demon who also blaspheme the Lord, knowing that he is Lord. Still, they do that. Similarly, here Daksha is doing, knowing that Shiva is not just his son-in-law. In fact, he should have been proud कि मेरी daughter has been married to Lord Shiva. But वैसा कहीं दिखता ही नहीं है कि he has accepted.
Later on, there is some other description about that. In the past, is already said. Since Brahma made him as the head of the Prajapatis, he considered his head of everyone. He thought, okay, first person is Brahma, second person is me. Something like that. Remaining all.
Second is Brahma.
No, first is Brahma, my father, and second is me. Remaining all third.
Intelligence and you persuade me to give my daughter to Shiva.
That is out of for the moment he said, but still he honors Brahma. So it was like that. Lord Shiva answers, it is clear, no doubt, according to my understanding is clear. You are favorite among all the daughters of Daksha by having qualities opposite of his. Utkrishtakate. Matlab, according to me, you possess all the good qualities. You have natural affection for your family members. But Daksha does not have a natural affection for his family members. However, you will not get respect from your father because of your relationship with me. He is tormented. Even though he had a lot of affection for you previous to our marriage, but since you have married me, he has no affection for you. If you go, you will not be received by your father cordially. Then Sati says, so my dear Lord Shiva, seems that you must have mentally been somewhat hostile to Daksha. Seems that you have already made up your mind against Daksha. So why so much negative feelings about Daksha, my father? So don't see that much bad qualities in my father. Not like that. Don't portray him so bad. He's a good person, very gentle person. He was very nice to me all these years. So please don't find faults with him like that. She says. Then Lord Shiva is responding. Papachamane naru. Sorry. Papachamane na hurdau turendriya. Samruddhi purusha buddhi sakshinam. Akalpaesham madirodu tumanjasa. Param padam veshtiyata suraharim.
One who is conducted by false ego and thus always distressed, both mentally and sensually, cannot tolerate the opulence of self-realized persons. Being unable to rise to the standard of self-realization, he envies such persons as much as demons envy the Supreme Personality.
Quoting an example, Lord Shiva nicely explained the position of Daksha, the mentality of Daksha. It is said that Dveshti Yata Asura Harim. Just like Asuras never tolerate the position of Lord Hari. So Lord Hari is glorified as the Supreme Lord. Asuras always want to kill Hari and take the position of Lord Hari. वही है ना, रावण, कुंभकर्ण, हिरण्याक्ष, हिरण्यकशिपु, they are always want to kill Hari and take the position of Hari. So why Lord Hari is glorified as the Lord of the universe? I am the Lord of the universe. Ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi. So what was that verse? That verse, very nice verse, comes in the 7th canto, where Hiranyakashipu was talking to Prahlad Maharaj. There is no one equal to me in this universe. There is no other Lord in the universe. So, of course, I don't remember exactly what is the conversation, but very nice conversation happens between the Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu. So then Prahlad Maharaj says that, no, it is not so. The Supreme Lord is there. He is the Lord being glorified by everyone. But Hiranyakashipu says, no, I am the Lord. So then, by the way, subject matter comes. So I am trying to kill you many times, always. And where from you are getting the strength that you are being saved always? Prahlad Maharaj says that the same person who is giving you strength is protecting me, also and giving me strength to tolerate your all attacks. So who is he? He said that he is called Hari. Where is he? He is everywhere. So is he there in this pillar? Yes, he is there. So all these times our soldiers were trying to attack you, kill you, and that Lord Hari, about whom you glorify heavily, he would come and protect you. Now I will see if you say that he is there in the pillar. I'll see if he's there in the pillar. First I'll kill him, then I'll kill you. Let me see how he will save you. Then holding the sword in his hand with the fist, he hits on the pillar. The pillar breaks open. Lord Narasimhadev comes out and he was killed. So it goes to that extent. So it's like that. So Asuras never accept the superiority at the supreme position of Lord Vishnu. They always want to kill Lord Vishnu and take that position. This is the example. So keeping that example in the mind, Lord Shiva is speaking this. He senses suffering. Atura Indriya. Atura Indriya. Where it comes? First canto Bhagavatam, there one verse comes. Atura Indriya. One important verse. Recently in the Bhagavatam class it is being told. No. Narada Muni and Vasudev. वो भी नहीं ऐसे हरिचर्यानु वर्णनम. What was that verse?
He's doing the remedy for all
Eta
the
Chitur Chiturasmana
हाँ.
Bhava Sindhu Haricharnanu
Srishto हरिचर्यानु वर्णनम.
Varnanam. Etadhi Atur Chittana.
एतद्धि आतुर चित्तानाम मात्रा स्पर्शा इच्छया मुहु. Their conscience is always in anxiety. Atura chitta. Atura indriya. Atura means always in anxiety. For what? Matra sparsha ichaya muhu. In order to bring the sense objects in contact with the senses, not once, again and again. Muhu. So because of that anxiety, they are put into perpetual cycle of birth and death. Bhava Sindhu. But only the suitable way coming out is blue boat. Take the shelter of the boat. What is that boat? Haricharya. Anuvarnana. Hearing and discussing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
What will be the number of this verse?
17, not 17. Yeah, 1636 or something like that. One of the last two verses of the 6th chapter. So here Lord Shiva is telling that he senses suffering and heart burning. Papacha manena hruda. Because of the powers of persons like me. Esham samruddhibi. Daksha's senses are suffering. Heart is burning. Because of the people like me who are in the topmost position with topmost powers, who have the Lord as the witness of our intelligence. Lord is constantly situated in our heart. We are always engaged in devotional service to the Lord. As a result of that, we are placed in the higher position, and Daksha is intolerant of that. Daksha is unable to attain such a high position. Why Daksha is intolerant? because Daksha is unable to attain such a high position, and thus he hates me, just as demons hate the Supreme Lord Hari. Because the position what we have attained, Daksha could not attain, he hates persons like me, and especially me. So here Lord Shiva reveals the actual reason of Daksha's current mentality. Denying this. So when Sati said that, my dear Lord Shiva, it seems that you must have mentally been somewhat hostile to Daksha. You must have made up your mind against Daksha. Then Lord Shiva said, it is not so. I have not made up my mind against Daksha. The reason is Daksha is envious and continually hates me. He is not hating only today. It is not that Daksha hated me only on that day. He hates me from the very beginning. Manufacturing offense to me, he has displayed hatred at this time. So much hatred has been accumulated in the heart of Daksha. That day he vented out, and today he did not invite me. You can see the result of continuous hatred. It comes like this. Daksha, with suffering senses, with heart burning because of the powers of yoga, samruddhivi, possessed by persons like myself, displays hatred to me, just as demons hate the Lord Vishnu. He is unable to ascend to the high position, parampadam, that I have. Akalpa esham adi rodum anjasa parampadam. Very easily we have attained that high position, parampadam, where we can meditate upon Lord Vishnu continuously. We can be continuously engaged in smaran. But that he could not attain. Because of that, he continuously hates us. But I do not have any hatred for your father, Daksha. Kindly do not make a mistake that I have made up my mind, find some hostility around against Daksha. Not like that. I don't hate Daksha at all. Even though that day he criticized so much, I did not utter a word. I simply came out. Even today also I don't hate. Since you said you want to go to your father's place, I'm saying all these things. Otherwise I never spoke all these things. Did Lord Shiva ever spoke? No. Now for the first time he's speaking all these things. Because Sati was adamant to go home. That's why he's telling. This is the reason. Even this is not only in the case of Daksha and Shiva. Even today also we can see. Whenever some devotee is becoming a little bit glorified here and there, there's a lot of criticism around. People does not tolerate somebody becoming popular. Always want to pull him down, pull them down, pull them, because they themselves cannot ascend and they cannot tolerate anybody else ascending. So this is the nature of materialistic mentality. No, उनका कुछ solution नहीं, उनके तरफ से कुछ solution नहीं. Only by becoming devotee we understand that we are supposed to be servant of the 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 list will not end only.
Devotees
So that is being hammered 100 times.
Devotees में भी वो मतलब to learn at the external level is one thing, and to really imbibe that in our thinking pattern and behavior is another thing.
Devotee will have that mentality. Those who think they are devotees.
Because means we see ना many times किसी का साधना अच्छा है तो भी means people don't get inspired by that. People feel कि मेरा नहीं है, मतलब वो comparative attitude आ जाता है.
Yes, that is true. These are all practical issues. So this chapter actually we can relate to our day-to-day things. Many things now we can really observe in our surrounding. All things are happening, especially in relative circles. All these things happen. There are some relatives who honestly appreciate if someone is growing up. But there are many who do not appreciate. Who always try to find fault and pull them down. Always. This kind of people we see. Even what to speak of that now. We should not say in the recorded class, but even with our Maharaj also.
Just many times here we said that Lord Shiva told Parvati, Sati, that because he's your father, those arrows will hurt you more.
More, yes.
Similarly, means even if when materialistic relatives do that kind of a thing, it doesn't bother much because we expect, okay, वैसा रहेगा because these are at a material level. But when devotees do, it hurts more.
Yes.
Because
see, now you see, now we have kind of little bit one step outside of the family circle.
Yeah.
So we don't mind them because
because
we have understood that okay their understanding is different. We want to be in a different platform. So now we feel devotee circle is our family. So in that family, if somebody says something, it is very difficult to come out.
yeah.
So are you getting? If we are not here, if we are fully here, if somebody says in that circle, it is very difficult to come out. It's I mean see here we see the pastime what's happening because since Lord Shiva is a male, that masculine nature with right side mentality is seeing through logic and reasoning. Mother Parvati representing the feminine mentality, seeing through the emotions. The result is what comes in the next chapter.
Prabhuji asked a generic question. When we experience such things, how do we deal with it?
That's what I'm saying. How do you deal with different people deal differently? I'm saying a feminine mentality person will deal in a different way. Masculine mentality person will deal differently. Who are you? You take it. Which mentality you want to display? Not about male and female. The mentality I'm saying. A man can have feminine mentality. A woman can have masculine mentality also. Both can be possible.
Prabhuji, but one doubt I had this means generally we say the Maya Devi means Shiva's wife like that. So I all through this incidents I have kept feeling that how Maya herself can get entangled in her own Maya. Like this is
No, don't see. See, this is a pastime. When pastime is going on, then don't apply the tattva. See the pastime.
अच्छा वो रस और तत्व का
Ah.
फर्क.
So that's what I'm saying. Sati is always speaking everything on the emotional platform. When it comes emotional, she's acting as a. She said, one among the women, one among the conditioned soul. She only said in one of the verses.
Because all through I was thinking that कि ये तो माया देवी खुद अपनी
That's
माया
what.
में कैसे
Take out the glance. Take out the glance. See the normal picture. Even Lord Shiva, the Sadashiva, he is not supposed to be affected all these things. Here, even Lord Shiva is also acting one among the living entities. As one among the material living entity in the material world, he is kind of analyzing everything through logic and reasoning and is saying all these things. So like that, now it's a pastime. See that as a pastime. Don't see through the glance of Tattva. How come Lord Shiva is Shambhu and Parvati is Prakriti? How can they be subjected to all these things? It seems to be illogical. So when pastime, see through pastime with emotional.
Actually वो
lens.
रस और तत्व डिवाइड करने का प्रॉब्लम कई जगह पे आता है when we study Bhagavatam.
Actually, in this purport, the very second line says that Daksha was envious of Lord Shiva because of Shiva's high position as an incarnation of a quality of the Supreme Personality of God.
Quality of the Guna Avatara, na? Lord Shiva is Guna Avatara. Of course, this is Prabhupada adds Guna Avatara, but otherwise, Lord Shiva's position is greatly revered by all the devatas. The Daksha, from Brahma's point of view, Daksha is made of the head of the Prajapatis. And Lord Shiva is worshipped as Mahadev by all the devatas. Devatas are respecting Daksha as well, Lord Shiva also. But devatas are respecting Shiva more than Daksha. That he is not able to tolerate. ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? मैं superior हूँ.
But when it is mentioned, a quality of the Supreme Personality of God, is a specific what? It's
Guna Avatara. This is Prabhupada's way of telling Guna Avatara. Because he is made as Guna Avatara. That's it.
In Guna also one particular Guna.
Tamaguna. Satoguna is Vishnu, Rajoguna is Brahma, and Tamaguna is Shiva. So that is from the function point of view, service point of view. Lord Shiva's service is destruction of the universe. That is Tamaguna function.
And you were just mentioning that apparently it seems that both Lord Shiva and Mother Sati, they are acting on a material platform, but even in their conversation, Shiva ka position aisa nahi lag raha ki he is, entangled.
And that's where I'm saying the masculine mentality. Even in the action, you see the masculine mentality. Not only Lord Shiva, any person with masculine mentality will speak like this, with logic and reasoning. This is what the conflict I go through always with my mother. There are hundreds of relatives. Among all the relatives, only 2 people are not happy with my mother. And my mother talks about them only always. I say thousands of people are glorifying you. They are happy with what we are doing. And only these 2 people are not happy with you. Always talk about them. You want they supposed to come and wash your feet or what? But still she will not understand because they will never understand logic and reasoning. We say, go अच्छा जो अच्छा चल रहा है be happy ना. No. जो बुरा चल रहा है वो नहीं चलना चाहिए. So it's like that.
50-50,
No, no. So I'm just giving my personal example. This is my experience. Generally, women are emotional. Logic many times does not work. Sometimes seems to be working, but it does not work with them.
Openly बोल रहे थे, sometimes it seems working but it doesn't work.
At least with my mother, it does not work.
It's true because we are emotional.
Yeah.
We think emotionally, we don't think logically.
Yes.
It's absolutely true.
So,
At least in my case, I can say.
so but the people are different. Their mentality is made differently. So one solution does not work for everyone. So Lord Shiva is thinking everything is giving the logic and reasoning, but Parvati is telling everything reason. So Lord Shiva is properly telling Daksha is this one. He says no, he is my father. He cannot be. He cannot be like that. She is not agreeing to it. So Lord Shiva says that. Lord Shiva says that I make a vow. Making a vow, I say this. Persons like me have the Lord as the witness of our intelligence. The Lord is personally seated in our heart. The Lord is not in Yoga Nidra. Generally, Paramatma is in Yoga Nidra within our heart. For all of us, he is in Yoga Nidra. He is only witness. He is only Sakshi. He does not mind whatever we are doing. आपको जो करना है करो. मैं तो आराम कर रहा हूँ. But Lord Shiva says that persons like me have the Lord as the witness of our intelligence to judge whether our decisions are good or bad. He will immediately constantly give the judgment what we are doing right or not. Because we are constantly in communication with him. He is not sleeping in our heart. He is sitting. And he says that, oh Sati, if you do not believe this, kindly sit in meditation. Directly go to Samadhi for a moment and ask him about my good and bad qualities. If you have any doubt about whatever I have said, please you sit in Samadhi, sit in Ashtanga Yoga posture and go to Samadhi platform. Then you interact, you ask the Paramatma. So my dear Lord, my husband is saying something, is that true?
ये कहाँ से पढ़ रहा है? In between lines?
हाँ वही.
Notes में है.
श्लोका में नहीं है.
This is from Sangha.
श्लोका में है. श्लोका में है.
Meditation के लिए बोला?
Purusha Buddhi Sakshinam. Purusha means Paramatma. Buddhi Sakshinam is the direct witness of our consciousness. Here Buddhi is not intelligence. Buddhi is consciousness. Purush, the meaning of this one sentence is this one phrase. Purusha Buddhi Sakshinam. For others, he is Samoham Sarvabhuteshu Name Dveshasya Napriya. Or he is like Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Suru Sadam. He is like sleeping in Yoga Nidra and okay, aapko jo karna hai karo. For others. But for us, he is Buddhi Sakshinam. He is continuously in communication with our consciousness. If we do something right, yes, well done. If you have done something wrong, yeah, अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है, correct करो. He is always there to guide us. He is actually sitting in our heart. For them, he is sleeping. If you have doubt, you please sit in yoga, Ashtanga yoga, and go to Samadhi, and you will ask Paramatma, and he will tell you about me if you have any doubt. So he's like, this is not a some Lord Shiva is giving everything logical reasoning. पूरा logic से बता रहे.
Only those who go to Samadhi platform, they can interact with Paramatma.
That's what na Dharana Dhyana, they get to see the
No.
Paramatma.
What I mean is, it means if really what we say that Paramatma guides through heart, it is only for those person who will be able to attain the Samadhi platform. Because for others, as you mentioned,
No, guidance can be multiple level, na. There is direct guidance, there could be some indirect guidance. We say seventh sense. Sometimes suddenly some thought comes. That is seventh sense, we can say, or sixth sense or seventh sense. But here the condition is that in that Samadhi, they could able to, they see each other. Dharana Dhyana is only meditating on Paramatma form. So एक बार meditation हो गया, you are able to see, mind is pure. So you can see. So everything is inside only, outside देखते नहीं वो लोग. Samadhi में they don't see anything outside, they see everything inside only. Atma is actually seeing Paramatma. Not the fleshy eyes are seeing Paramatma. Fleshy eyes are there. Atma is here. Atma is seeing Paramatma. इससे कुछ संबंध नहीं. So it is like that. So then now Sati says that, so my dear Lord, I believe that you do not hate Daksha. I accept. So what you are saying is, I accept. I don't have to go into meditation and talk to Paramatma. I do have faith in you. I accept. However, you should rise from. However, you should rise from your seat and act humbly in front of your father-in-law. What was the problem? You could have you could have arose that time. You could have offered obeisance to your father-in-law. Simple, one small thing. Because of one small thing, all these things happened. I accept that you are a great person. That is okay. As a matter of courtesy, since he is your father-in-law, you could have stood up for a moment, maybe 1 or 2 seconds, and offered obeisances to your father-in-law. छोटा सा चीज है, करने में क्या प्रॉब्लम होता था?
ये लॉजिकल हुआ ना?
हाँ?
ये लॉजिकल हुआ ना?
नहीं, still emotional है. Still emotional है. Still he is seeing, she is seeing, he is your father-in-law. Still that father, as long as the father-in-law concept is there, emotional.
Argument was logical.
No. So for which, now this verse and the next verse are the important verses. Kindly pay attention.
22nd and 23rd?
Yeah. Pratyugam Sir, Pratyugdama Prashrayanabivadanam Vidiyate Sadhumita Samadhyame Prajnai Parasmai Purushaya Chetasa Guhashayayaiva Navedamanine Tarkna Dehamanine.
My dear young wife, certainly friends and relatives offer mutual greetings by standing up, welcoming one another, and offering obeisances. But those who are elevated to the transcendental platform, being intelligent, offer such respects to the super soul who is sitting within the body, not to the person who identifies with the body.
When Sati said that, so what was the problem? You could have got up for a few seconds and offered obeisances to your father-in-law. Now, there are two concepts. One is the concept of father-in-law. Second, the concept of offering respects. And those two are very nicely addressed by Lord Shiva here. Lord Shiva says that, O thin-waisted wife, rising from one's seat, okay, Prati Udgama, sitting and just standing up when somebody comes. Acting affectionately, Prashrayana, and offering mutual respects, Mita Abhivadanam, should actually be done by the wise with the thought that one is offering respect to the Supreme Lord, Parasmai Purushaya, dwelling within that person, Guha Ashaya. People in general, when somebody comes, in order to reciprocate the affection, in order to greet them, they get up, rise up and offer namaskar and speak few good words. Narrow understanding is all based on bodily platform. Either they are my equal or they are my superiors. I am supposed to rise and offer obeisances. The equal and superior, this understanding comes from what? Bodily platform. So this is one understanding. For the common society, offering respect is as based on bodily platform or based on the social norms, based on their position. Even though sometimes the person may be younger to us, but from the position point of view, may be elder superior. Maybe an employee in the collector office. Collector might be newly joined collector, 30 years old, but the employee is 60 years old, about to retire. But when collector comes, offer respects. The respect is not to the person's age, but to the person's position. For either age or position, the respect is offered in the general society. But the same respect is offered by the wise. Lord Shiva says, through, okay, the mutual respect is actually be done by the wise with the thought, with the understanding that one is actually offering respect to the Supreme Lord, dwelling within that person. Not thinking of the person's body or position. When a person comes, the first respect is supposed to be offered to the Paramatma seated in the heart of that person. Not to the person, not to the person's age, not to the person's position, but to the Paramatma seated within the heart of that person. So this is the way of offering obeisances among the learned circles. Otherwise, the society in general, on the bodily platform position or the age, they offer respects. But among the learned circles, you said your father is a very learned circle gentleman. But I know, according to my learning, is that among the educated, among the learned peoples, the respect is offered to the Paramatma, not to the person first. Mutual exchange of greetings that are performed by ignorant should be performed by intelligent with their minds directed to Supreme Lord. The persons ignorant of this understanding may offer obeisances based on the bodily platform, based on the age and position. But by intelligence, it should be done with the mind directed to the Supreme Lord Paramatma. One should think the Supreme Lord who exists in my father-in-law or in my husband. So now Lord Shiva is speaking to Sati saying that, so intelligent person like you should think that the same Paramatma who is existing in the heart of your husband is also existing in the heart of your husband's father, and that is your father. Same Paramatma who is there in my heart is also there in the heart of Daksha. That is what you should consider. Therefore, I offer respects to him. One should not think of bodies. So the custom among the intellectual people is when somebody is coming, we are supposed to offer obeisance to Paramatma. But when Daksha came, kindly understand, my dear Sati, that the same Paramatma who is there in the heart of your father was there in the heart of me also. So before Daksha came to that sacrifice, I was already offering obeisance to Paramatma who is there in my heart. The same Paramatma is there in the heart of your father. So I am already offering obeisance to Paramatma in my heart. Is there a need to offer obeisance again to the Paramatma in the heart of your father?
We already कर ही रहे थे अंदर सखी तो एक्सटर्नली भी कर देते.
वही है ना, emotional logical. The unintelligent people greet each other with bodily consciousness only, since they never remember the Supreme Lord. That is not proper. Because I was absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord when Daksha arrived. Even if I did not glance at Daksha, by my respect for the Paramatma in the heart of mine, Daksha was respected automatically. Because I am respecting the Paramatma in my heart, I am also respecting, that means I am also respecting the Paramatma in the heart of Daksha, in the heart of Bhrigu, Vasishta, and all the other gate sages, everyone who was there in that assembly. I already offered obeisance to everyone. Okay. But Daksha is ignorant of this fact and he became unnecessarily angry without any reason. You said your father is a great London gentleman, but where is the learning? He could not understand the small understanding. This past time, if you remember, Mahabharat, Bhima and Hanumanji Samvad. When Bhima was going to get that lotus flowers, the golden lotus flowers, on the way, he happened to see a monkey. And Bhima said, "A monkey, move away from the path. I need to go." Why? Bhima says the reason. The monkey said that, "No, no, I'm old monkey, I cannot go." Bhima said that, "Can't you understand this one simple thing that Paramatma is there in the heart of every living entity? I cannot step over you." Then Hanumanji said, "If you can't step over, then move around and go. Can't you understand that I am a Kshatriya and Raja? How can you expect me to go away? When I go, everyone part. They should give me." Actually, this Bhima is not boasting.
It's true.
It is true. It's Kshatriya nature. Then the monkey said, "That's my dear sir, I cannot move, I'm old. So if at all you want, please you are so powerful, seems to be like that. You move me aside and then you go. Please do this small favor." So like that. So even apparently it seems to be so much arrogant behavior, but see the principle. It is so subtle. We may not get it. Even in our daily dealings also, if you happen to touch someone with our leg, we immediately touch and offer obeisances. Is it not? Even in our home, when we are entering the main entrance, we are not supposed to touch it with our feet. The main entrance, the main door is there, na? The bottom portion, whatever you keep, na? That is said to be the Lakshmi Nivas. We are not supposed to step on it. If at all we step on it, we are supposed to immediately beg forgiveness and offer obeisances to it. Even within the home, except on the surface, we are not supposed to kick on anywhere. Even this wall is there, na? Knowingly or unknowingly, we are not supposed to touch it. If at all we do, so immediately we beg forgiveness. Even it is said that even when we sleep in the night, when we get up early in the morning, we are supposed to offer obeisance to Mother Earth. So my dear Earth, please forgive me that I have slept on your surface. And today, from now onwards, for the entire day, I'll be walking on you. Please forgive me for my offense. Yes.
So why the sidewalls? I mean, not that we deliberately kick, but
Yes. Without this, we cannot do. But without this, we can do. Is there something without putting legs on the side wall, you can't live? It is not required actually. Sometimes you may do it unknowingly, but it is not required. Without it also, we can live happily. But without stepping on the surface, we cannot. Stepping on the surface is required. तो जो जरूर है वो करना पड़ेगा, बाद में थोड़ा फॉरगिवनेस मांगना पड़ेगा. जो जरूरत नहीं उसको करके भूलने का नहीं. Unintentional it may happen. We mean to beg forgiveness. So this building is like the body. Just like when we touch with our legs other the body, we offer obeisances. The building is also like the body. The temple is a building. It is the body of the main deities. Deities are like Atma. The temple is like the body of the Lord. So when we are kicking on the body, we are supposed to beg forgiveness and offer respects. So that is the understanding. For our home also, the home is actually the body of our household deities. It should be seen like that. The deities are the Paramatma, the Paramatma, Atma, whatever you may say. So the home is their external body. Same with this material world is the body. Virat Rupa we say, na? This material world is the body of the Lord. And the Lord is the Atma and Paramatma, whatever we can say. So we should treat this material world also with that respect. So since we are living here, we have to live, so we have to use it. But we should not exploit or disrespect whatever it is. So that is a proper understanding.
practical purpose के लिए पूछूं, in my house there are heavy cabinets, the trolleys.
मैं भी वही सोच रही थी कब से कि पैर से वो नीचे की ट्रॉली जनरली पैर
बहुत
से
ऐसा झुकना पड़ेगा अगर उसको ऐसा और they are heavy.
हाँ.
वो सीधे हाथ से जाएगा नहीं, उसको थोड़ा प्रेशर रखते हैं.
पैर
In Brahmacharya Ashtam, some of the Brahmacharya classes, some of the senior devotees, even His Holiness Rajvanshi Maharaj also says, it is by natural Brahmacharya Ashtam bucket. So we take out one bucket and with other bucket, we with our feet, we kind of slide slowly, put it in the underneath. As you said, cupboards, doors there below, with feet we close. Something that is unintentionally we may do, but we should not do. The understanding is that everything is a manifestation of Balramji, expansion of Balramji. So we are using our feet to touch Balramji.
And I was answering to myself कि वो ट्रॉली खोलते वक्त हम नीचे झुक के खींचते हैं, तो बंद करते वक्त क्यों नहीं नीचे झुक के ढकेल सकते हाथ से?
Pulling is easy.
Yeah, but
Pushing is not easy.
These are all justifying words.
Even see in the wardrobe, the below cabinets are meant for shoes and all this thing. But sometimes you don't want to even touch the shoe rack like that. So you just like kind of like pull it with your feet and then just take out your shoes like that.
Yeah, it is there. But see, it all maybe initial days we may be doing like that, but gradually we should learn.
but again,
Learn to respect
consciousness
everything.
while doing that
Mm.
matters.
Yeah.
We may be doing something with the hand,
Mm.
but we may not be that respectful to that thing. So it is again the same thing.
Rebalancing.
See, that's where na, if that continues more frequently, so we start rating everything in this world like that only. Everything we consider that I'm boss, you are meant to serve me. So that subtle mentality will develop gradually, slowly. That subtle mentality will develop. That so when we start respecting every aspect of this nature, so then we consider ourselves as a servant, subservient to the nature. So there's subtle understanding.
Actually, I remember one pastime for brahmacharis only. Bhakti Maharaj had said, Bhakti Maharaj had corrected Radha Gopinath Prabhu that once that the lights which are operated with the foot itself. So I think Prabhuji did that, and Bhakti Maharaj said no, not like this. So there was a counter argument sort of that this is meant like this. These lights are supposed to be switched on with the foot only, not in the temple. At least not in the temple you do this, you know. So I was just wondering, what did Maharaj say when he said that you don't push the bucket with your...
Treat it as Balramji's expansion. See it as a Balramji. Since it is temple in the spiritual world, everything is manifestation, direct manifestation of Balramji. Balramji himself expands as Dama. So now understand that you are kicking Balramji. So from that point of view, we have to see everything as the expansion of Balramji, so that we are Krishna conscious. There are small aspect only, but we are Krishna conscious. So that is the main subtle point. So that can be taken in all respects, in all conditions, so that we are what we can say, we are conscious of what we are doing. Otherwise, we take it for granted everything. If this kind of things are cultivated, we are saved from so many difficulties in the future. Even when it comes to relationship, the people also, our dealings with people also will be fine tuned, very respectfully.
I was just thinking this only, that you're talking about the inanimate objects like this. We have to respect even that. What to speak of human beings?
It will be more respect.
Just
Contrast.
with our dear ones, but we just, it's not that on a daily basis we are respecting them or I don't know.
So many times, many things seems to be correct actually. Apparently, they all seem to be. See, from the practical point of view, whatever response we give to the impulses, they are correct. But the problem is, the practicality is a little different from what we are aspiring for. What we are aspiring for is entirely on a different platform only, and that on this they cannot go together. That principle is entirely different. This practical level, what we are supposed to do, what we are doing is entirely different. If we act like that here in the midst of practical people, they see us like a crazy people.
You tend to get exploited.
It's like that.
There's a gulf of difference.
But at least, if not everywhere, within the circles of devotees, we should be careful. So then Parvati is doing that. Then this is one important question Sati asks. So you mean to say that time you are in Samadhi? Why that time only you are in Samadhi? You could have been in Samadhi some other time. So when my father was coming, that time only in Samadhi. So you say, I accept what you are saying, that whatever obeisance we are offering is only to Paramatma, not to the body. I know that, she said. But why that time only you are in Samadhi? Are you excusing? This is past time.
See what meditation you
See, logic is also. See, even her logic is also
based on emotion.
Based on emotion. Why उसी समय क्यों? उसके पहले हो सकता था, उसके बाद हो सकता था, उसी समय क्यों? You want to
signs that somebody is in samadhi मालूम पड़ता है ऐसा?
पता नहीं, अभी नेक्स्ट वर्स डिस्कस करेंगे ना, नेक्स्ट वर्स में एवरीथिंग क्लियर होगा.
That way, if you think of Shiva.
No, not that. Please, again, don't put.
I'm just saying.
The saying always in samadhi is also emotional.
It's not.
No, we'll discuss what Lord Shiva has to say. Sattvam vishuddham vasudeva shabditam yadiyate tatra pumana pavruta sattve cha tasmin bhagavan vasudevo yadokshajo me namasa vidiyate.
I'm always engaged in offering obeisances to Lord Vasudeva in pure Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is always pure consciousness, in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Vasudeva, is revealed without any cover.
So in the previous verse, Lord Shiva made it clear that when someone comes, when we offer respects, the normal understanding is that we are offering respects to the person's age, person's position. But the understanding of the knowledgeable is that we are supposed to offer respects to the Paramatma. So somehow or other, when your father came, that time I was already offering obeisances to Paramatma in my heart. Same Paramatma was there in the heart of your father. There was no need to offer to the Paramatma in the heart of your father. So this is what was happening. Then Sati asked, that time only you were in Samadhi? Then for which Lord Shiva gives that the pure Antakarana is called Vasudeva. Antakarana means Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana. Antaha means internal, Karana means senses. The four internal senses combined together is called Antakarana. So, when the four Antakaranas are completely pure, they are called as Vasudeva. What we recite every day morning? Chaitanya Shishtastakam starts with Cheto Darpana Marjanam. The mirror-like consciousness is being purified of the dirt. Okay. Here Cheta means sometimes we may say consciousness, sometimes we may say heart. But generally it is understood as Antakarana. Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana, all the four supposed to be cleansed by the process of chanting Harinam every day. Okay. When they are completely purified, the Antakarana is called as Vasudeva. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shattam. Sattvam Vishuddha. Sattvam means Antakarana. Man, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chetana, these four come into the called Sattvam. Vishuddha, they are in the pure state, pure consciousness. So Vishuddha Sattva is called as Vasudeva. The pure Antakarana is called as Vasudeva. Because there the Supreme Lord appears without coverings. Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yogamaya Samavrta. The Paramatma is always covered by Yogamaya. But in a purified Antakarana, the covering is removed. The Paramatma will be revealed always. The Atma can see the Paramatma without any covering in the purified Antakarana. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabdam Yet Tatra Puman Apavurto Iyate. Yadiyate Tatra Puman Apavurta. Basically, there within that pure consciousness, Puman, the Purusha, who is known as Paramatma, Apavurta will be uncovered. Normally is covered by his own curtain of Yogamaya or Mahamaya, whatever we can say, according to the position of the Jiva. So, but in the pure consciousness, the curtain is removed. Paramatma is visible. If Antakarana is pure, Paramatma is constantly visible. No problem. In that Antakarana, my Antakarana is already pure. So, being situated in that Antakarana, I was worshipping the Supreme Lord Vasudeva, because Lord Vasudeva becomes uncovered. I was seeing him, I was worshipping him. Who is situated beyond the material senses? Adokshaja. The Paramatma is situated beyond the material senses. By offering respects, Namasa Vidiyate. So, now the intention of Lord Shiva saying this is that cannot be asked. When Mother Sati asked that time only you went into Samadhi? Then Lord Shiva said, you cannot be asked that. What cannot be asked? Since Samadhi on the Lord is not dependent on me. I am dependent on the Lord. I cannot make a rule for when entering into Samadhi does not depend upon me. The Lord becomes uncovered, does not depend upon me. Whenever he wants to be uncovered, he will become uncovered. Then I will be put into Samadhi. ये मेरा endeavor से परे, ये उनका इच्छा से होता है. हाँ. So I cannot decide today from 10 AM to 11 AM I will be in Samadhi. Not like that. Unless until he wants, we cannot be in Samadhi. We may endeavor to come to Samadhi. We may at the entry of the Samadhi, but entering into Samadhi depends on him only. When he reveals himself to us, we will be in Samadhi. So it is not in my hand. I cannot say. So you cannot ask that. That time only why you went to Samadhi? I don't know. It is not in my hand. He came. I cannot avoid that. When he comes, how can I avoid? So having said that, now he is explaining the technical meaning of that Antakarana. The spiritual Antakarana, Vishuddha Sattvam, is called Vasudeva. Or another meaning is that Sattvam means the spiritual state composed of the actions of Chit Shakti, Vishuddham. Vishuddha means pure. That is Chit Shakti. The three gunas are Achit Shakti or Maya Shakti. So when the antakaranas are in spiritual state, that is called sattvam. And that is, there one person performs all the spiritual activities of Shakti. In the Shuddha Sattva platform, our subtle body performs all the spiritual activities. And that kind of purified antakarana is the state, is the producer of the Lord's appearance, Vasudeva. So the spiritual state composed of the actions of Shakti is the producer of Lord's appearance. Why? It is because in the spiritual mind, or the state composed of the Shakti, the Lord without covering, called Vasudeva, appears. Vasudeva means he who makes his appearance in the state of Vasudeva. He appears in pure antakarana. So now the comes is, the name Vasudeva comes because that personality who appears from the Vasudeva consciousness. That's why Vasudeva's name is Vasudeva. Vasudeva is that person who has pure consciousness. It is the quality, name of the quality, not the person. Since Vasudeva, Krishna's father, has pure consciousness, he is called as Vasudeva. So,
But his real name is also Vasudeva. Vasudeva Devi.
that's what the name comes because of his qualities.
Quality के ऊपर से नाम है.
हाँ, quality के ऊपर से नाम आते हैं. Lord Krishna is called Parsarthi because he driven the chariot of Arjuna. So in that. Thus, Vasudeva refers to my pure antakarana. Moreover, the Supreme Lord dwells, Vasati. Another meaning of Vasudeva, the Supreme Lord dwells, Vasati, there. Where? In that pure antakarana, in that pure heart. Therefore, antakarana is called Vasu. Vasu means antakarana. Vasati means that Lord who dwells in Vasu, who dwells in antakarana. Because it is completely spiritual, it is called Deva. The pure antakarana is completely spiritual, it is called Deva. It is divine. That Lord who resides in the divine antakarana is called Vasudeva or Vasudeva. The Lord is called Vasudeva. That pure antakarana is called as Vasudeva. So this is the derivation of the word Vasudeva. In the antakarana, the Lord appears, but he is beyond the material senses, Adokshaja, and is served as particularly meditated upon by offering respects, which indicates other services as well. What are the other services? Offering respects is like Vandan, we say. And Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Padasevanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanam. All these things can, 9 things can happen within the core of the heart. Huh? Mansi Seva. All these things can happen. So, which indicates other service also. Yeah, at least one thing is that I was offering obeisances. He was not only offering obeisances, he might be chanting some prayers. He might be remembering some pastimes of the Lord and chanting the prayers. He might be doing some arati also while doing that. Archana is also going on. Offering prayers. Vandanam is also going on. Namaskar, Vandan, and what else? Padasevanam also might be there. After offering this thing, everything can be done one after the other like that. All these things can be done in that. That is like personal seva. Atma is doing service to Paramatma. Personal seva. Like that in the Vaikuntha. So then the Lord was served in me. Sorry. Then the Lord was served in me by my mind. Because of uninterrupted service to the Lord, I did not have external awareness. I was lost in that service. I was chanting the names of the Lord. I was thinking about Lord's pastime. I was doing Archan. I was doing Padasevanam. I was doing other things and Atmani Vedanam, all these things. I was busy in that service. How can I come out and what's happening around? How can I become aware of what's happening around? I was busy inside.
If I was not in Samadhi, I would have gotten enough of it. She needs that. And Lakshana did not understand that he was in Samadhi and gave him classes.
Even if he was in external consciousness, he didn't do, I mean, why necessarily would he be doing that?
No,
His
no.
position-
Out of social custom, you would have done it.
He would have
It is
been
not.
Shiva, he
It
would
is
have-
a devotee will never think themselves to be great devotee. They always see everyone else superior. So they always offer. respects.
True, but Daksha should have understood that he's Mahadev. What is he talking about? What is he talking
There
about?
will be some signs to know that if a person is samadhi.
But in
It takes one to know one. That's why we should also rise to that platform. If we are not in that platform, better not commit offense. What is that? NOI mantra 6.
I don't remember.
लक्ष्य ऐसे तो मिला ना
2 साल हो गया 3 साल
दो
हो गया
कितना भी साल होने दो वही प्रॉब्लम है ना भूल जाते हैं वही प्रॉब्लम है
Shyam Krishna. No, that is 7.
that is seventh one. Sixth one is Gangambuso Bodbudo. So they are like Ganga. Even though Ganga might be having lot of dash, this, that, but Ganga never becomes impure. Like that, the great souls, by seeing external things, we cannot understand them. Simply aspire to serve them. Don't estimate by their externals.
in this light, Prabhuji, the Daksha's offense becomes all the more, highlighted, or it becomes all the more grave, because he's not only, till now I was understanding he has offended Lord Shiva. But here now how we understand is that he has offended somebody who was in service of the Supreme Lord, and he was expecting stop that and serve me. So in that the offense
Of course,
gets
this is an internal dialogue between Lord Shiva and Sati. But to the extent of Daksha, we may not go into go that. Daksha was expected to have the understanding of all these internal subject matter also. Even though if he does not have that subject matter, no problem. He could have cordially requested, indicated to Lord Shiva, saying that, you as a son-in-law supposed to offer respects to elders. That much would have been enough. This is a proper behavior is expected from person like you, etc. Lord Shiva would have said, I'm sorry, I was busy, something else. I was lost my consciousness, so he could have gone. But without that, the reason is, Lord Shiva has mentioned, no? He is intolerant of my position because he could not attain that. He is envious.
And as you mentioned about
That takes the highest precedence.
So everybody got up, but Daksha is not happy seeing that everybody has got up. He's only bothered about one has not
person.
got up.
Yeah.
White board में black board दिखता है.
So it's like that. So it's not about knowledge, it's about understanding. One might have received so much knowledge, but how much we have digested, that is important. So kindly do not make a mistake. Do not find galti with Daksha. See Daksha as ourselves. Put ourselves in the position of Daksha and try to see the past time so that we can correct our mistakes. So,
We may create mental offense towards Daksha without being.
अभी mental offense कलयुग में forgiven है.
अच्छा इसलिए करते नहीं रहना है.
करते रहना नहीं है पर भूल जाते. क्या है?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
yeah, please.
Prabhuji, supposing a person doesn't understand you and curses you, okay? Maybe you are right in your way and you are ethical too, and doesn't understand you and curses you. Does the curse come to you?
No, it won't come.
Okay.
Why should come to Shiva? Whatever Daksha has cursed, why that curse should be applicable to Lord Shiva?
So Mother is asking in our day-to-day circumstances. From the point of view of our day-to-day people, we don't have so much power to affect somebody by our words. But it comes to Daksha. Daksha is a Brahmana. His position is highly elevated, na?
No, but what is the difference between if somebody just wishes bad for you and somebody curses you? Is there any difference?
If the person has the potency, his words will come true. तो कुछ पोटेंसी नहीं कुछ बोलते रहते हवा में बोलते तो क्या फायदा?
In this age also.
I'm talking about in this age. In our day-to-day circumstances, somebody curses, somebody says some bad words against us. It won't have much effect. I'm saying they don't have that much power also.
They have potency, then it can.
I'm saying Daksha. For Daksha, he has potency. Whatever he says, even it may not act upon Shiva, but Lord Shiva gives respect to the words of Daksha. As a Brahmana, as a son of Brahma, he will give respect to the words of Daksha. Just to keep the honor of a Brahmana, he would accept, he would follow. It is not about the potency of Daksha's words, but the willingness to serve Lord Shiva, the code of conduct made by, even that's what we discussed, na? the 4 Kumaras are pronounced a curse to Jaya Vijaya. Lord Vishnu says that I could do reverse, but I don't want to do that. Already one rule is established. I want to go ahead with that. It's okay. You go down 3 lifetimes, act like envious people, and but always be in Krishna conscious and come back. Okay. मेरा भी past time हो जाएगा, आपका भी हो जाएगा. Vedas words also make true. सब accomplish हो जाएगा. So it's like that.
So how do you deal with envy, bro?
Louder.
How do you deal with envy? Suppose you are I am
Become
envious
humble.
of somebody.
If
How?
somebody
How
is
do you
humble,
become
we will never become envy. What is the reason of enviousness?
Yes, something that I don't have.
Why you want to have?
Whatever you have.
That is the problem ना. You want to have name and fame here. You want to have happiness here. आपको उधर जाने का इधर रहने का. उधर जाने का छोड़ दो उधर का.
Think about that.
Whether you have not have, don't forget about whatever comes because of destiny. Be happy with that. Yadrucha labha santushto.
By chance, कुछ हो.
No, but
Yadrucha means it is not by chance.
Destiny.
It is after working hard to your 100% capacity, intellectual capacity, physical capacity, or whatever else. Whatever it comes, that is your quota. Be happy with that. Not by illegal means or immoral means. With moral, ethical means, with your physical strength, intellectual strength, and mental capacity, whatever one can work, whatever comes, that is Adrushya. Without working and whatever comes, that is laziness.
really, like one point I want to say, I may be wrong, that if whatever one has good qualities, if one sees that as the Lord's mercy, means I was not eligible to have it, but still it has been given to me by the Lord by His mercy, then one will not have the pride for that, what one has. And at the same time, if one has that in that consciousness that Lord has given everybody something, some good thing. It is not that somebody सारा bad एक को दे दिया, ऐसा किसी के साथ नहीं किया है भगवान ने. So if we see in that light, means somebody may be good in something, but Lord has given me also something. So let me work with what He has given me, and let that person work with what that person has been bestowed with. So if that consciousness we develop, that kind of envy and things will not crop up no so much, because ultimately whatever one has is given by the Lord, and whatever one doesn't have, maybe I was not eligible for that, so Lord has not given.
That is good thinking. But the best thinking is Trunadapi Sunichena Taroriva Saishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtine
When
Sadasti.
we think that way, the humility will automatically come, no, Prabhuji. When we think that way, the humility will, it will be the natural byproduct of such thinking.
No, it not that it automatically comes. We need to endeavor to follow and sustain it. What do you mean by Trunadapi Sunichena? What is the actual meaning of Trunadapi Sunichena?
Even if somebody tramples over you, you will not.
Not understanding what is not what is the correct understanding. What is the meaning? Just literal meaning. Trunadapi Sunichena.
Be humbler than the blade of grass.
Be humble as a grass. Be humble as a grass.
Okay, be humble as a grass. Trinad api sunichena.
नीचे, उससे भी नीचे.
उससे भी नीचे. Okay. I said. So another actually what you have said also is okay, but one more understanding is that what is the position of grass? Grass is a food for the animals. Dry grass or green grass, whatever it is. So now a human being by nature has higher intelligence compared to animals. But even a person possessing higher intelligence than animals in front of Guru and Gauranga, in front of others, one should behave as if just like an animal keeps the grass in the mouth between the teeth. So like that, when Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami came in front of Chaitanya, he said that they are keeping the grass in their mouth and fell flat and offering obeisances. So Mohito Papista and like that, Jagai Madai also much superior than us. We are much lower than that. Like that, they are saying. The understanding is that in spite of possessing greatest amount of intelligence, a devotee should always feel like a bull which holds gas in the mouth. Bull is said to be unintelligent. In spite of possessing, this is one example, same thing can be extended to all other qualities in terms of intelligence. In spite of having great intelligence, but one should behave like unintelligent in front of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra.
बिहेव करने का जरूरत क्या है? वैसे तो है ही ना उनके सामने, हम तो कुछ भी है नहीं तो.
No, when you said that, okay, we have some good qualities, others have good qualities. Okay, I am not qualified to have other good qualities or I don't have. So still there is something. I have some good qualities. This point is much higher than that. I don't have any good qualities. It is not that he does not have. He has all the good qualities, but still he feels and he says that I don't have any good qualities. So this is like highest level. This is very difficult to come to that point.
It's true.
No.
Actually don't. ऐसा नहीं है कि
No, not actually. We have something. It is not that we don't have. We have some qualities. Never deny that. But the understanding of the Vaishnavism is, in spite of having all those things, we should never identify with them. So that is the Goswamis are highly knowledgeable people. Still, they never identify with them. So ultimately, it comes to that point. It is not only in terms of knowledge, it in terms of all these some qualities, but in terms of everything. So in terms of our wealth and belongings and possessions also, we may, from a practical point of view, may have all these things. We may feel like we are secure, etc. From the ultimate point of view, all these things are supposed to be left behind only. If something is supposed to be left behind tomorrow, how can it be mine today? So you may think that, okay, I'm a brahmachari, I'm speaking also. Not like that. This is the principle. Ultimately, this is the principle. So, and it is also immaturity for us to act like that today, because we are not in that level. We cannot act. But this is the highest principle. So what you said, that is actually what is practicable today. But what Chaitanya Charitamrita is teaching us is the highest, which we are supposed to aspire for. So for that, we need to work hard. That is only possible in Sattva Vishuddha Sattva platform. Without purified consciousness, we cannot do that. If we do that, that will not last long. Maybe we may do it half an hour or one day. Second day, we will not be able to do with immaturity. So that is understanding.
Just one question, like even he asked that how do you deal with envy? Like, when we are envious of somebody.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned this. So when we are aspiring for that platform, why do we become envy? Here, envy is maybe a byproduct of jealousy, byproduct of anger. Out of anger also we may become envy because they might have criticized us, so we want to become we want to take revenge and become envy. Or they have something we don't, which we don't have, we may become envy. That is because we want to have something here. For a Trunadapi person, what is the use of having anything here? Even if something is having, he's saying I don't have anything. Then why does he aspire to have something?
Definitely we don't aspire to have something. Actually, in one sense you answer. I was going to ask the other part of the question. So sometimes people misunderstand us and they have envy for us. For us not having anything, just like that. Like you.
That is quite natural.
So
that is the nature of Kali Yuga. That Kali Yuga, it is like that.
You're not able to explain the person also. You have. So then what can we do?
Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, first few verses. What is the understanding of a person in the mode of goodness, in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance? Understanding in the mode of passion is that they have always dilemma. What is dharma? What is adharma? In the mode of goodness, they know this is dharma, this is adharma. Stay with this, forget it. In the mode of ignorance, opposite. Dharma to be adharma, adharma to be dharma. Doing right is wrong, wrong is right in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, mode of ignorance is prominent. Dwapara Yuga, mode of passion is prominent. Treta Yuga, mode of goodness is prominent. Mode Treta Yuga में they know ये धर्म है अधर्म, धर्म फॉलो करेगा अधर्म नहीं फॉलो करेगा. द्वापर युगा धर्म फॉलो करो अधर्म फॉलो करो 50-50. They are not able to decide what to do. कलयुग में पक्का डिसीजन है धर्म ही अधर्म अधर्म ही धर्म. This is majority. There could be some exceptions. There are some good people who are adhering to principles of dharma, but in general, people consider dharma to be dharma, dharma to be adharma, and they speak of high of it. It is not a person's fault. It is a collective atmosphere like that. We cannot stay away with it. But slowly we need to correct.
But one thing what you said is right. That what we have to do in this world, anyway, which is we're passerbys. So it's okay. I mean, we don't want to have anything in this world. I need experience.
When we have that understanding, we don't mind. We behave like Haridas Tagore. Haridas Tagore was wherever he went, he was kind of ill-treated by the people of that place. But he was not affected. He moved on. उनके लिए ये सब जरूरत नहीं था. इससे कुछ लेना देना नहीं. But we take into personal, we go into ego level and we live with that for the entire life. Even me too.
That's because the foundation में ही रहा है ना ऐसा बोलते हैं it's because identification with the body only.
Unfortunately, even though we want to be normal, we cannot be because the entire atmosphere is
Exactly.
like that. We cannot be something different from the part of the society. We are also part of society only. So we are forced to be like that, even though we may not want. Avashopi, uncontrollably. Avasha. Vasha means under control. Avasha means we don't have any control over ourselves. Nature is keeping us in our control. So Lord Shiva made it clear in 2 verses. So A, this is the understanding of the learned circles. That's what I was doing. So what can I do? Your father can't understand this. So there is no fault in me. Tell me if that is a fault on my part. Lord Shiva was asking Sati. Then he continues that.
Sorry, very sorry to interrupt. Devotees greeted their Dambat Pranam. Who are you offering Dambat?
Paramatma, supposed to be Paramatma. And later it goes to all.
What did you say just now?
Paramatma.
Paramatma, and then what did you say?
Later it goes to everyone.
Yes.
When we are offering obeisance to, for example, when you come, when I offer obeisance to you, first to your Paramatma in the heart, then to you also. Then to you and yeah, person.
So when we offer obeisances to spiritual master, also first we are offering to Paramatma.
And then to spiritual master. It is a general principle. Paramatma is there in the heart of everyone. Andantarasa Paramanu Chantarasam is there everywhere. So how can we get away with him? That's why there is also keeping foot on this wall and immediately begging forgiveness because Paramatma is there in this. Andantarasa Paramanu Chantarasam. In practical level, you may see this is the body of the deities, but in ultimate level, Paramatma is everywhere. How can we insult Paramatma? At least consciously, when we are conscious, we should beg forgiveness after doing this. Otherwise, many times we do. That is okay, but intentionally we should not kick. That should be avoided. If something happens by the way, that is okay. Better to be conscious. If not, by the way is okay. But intentionally, just to show off my power, I will kick. करके ऐसा नहीं करने का.
कभी गुस्से में कोई बर्तन वगैरह भी फटकने वाला.
This verse was quoted somewhere else. It seems very.
आपके exam में है. Oh, this is quoted by many times. Maharaj also quotes many times. This is a famous verse. We also discussed many times in our Bhakti Vaibhav SB. I repeat this verse many times. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudev Shaktam Yadiyate Tatra Puman Apavurta. Tatte Niriksho Napitapi Deha Krut Daksho Mama Dve Tadano Rataschaye Yo Vishwasrugyajna Gatam Varorumam Anagasam Durvachachakshutotira.
Therefore, you should not see your father, although he is the giver of your body, because he and his followers are envious of me. Because of his envy, O most worshipful one, he has insulted me with cruel words, although I am innocent.
So now Lord Shiva is going to conclude his talk, his final counter arguments to Mother Sati. So in this, he kind of states one point. My dear wife, Vara Uru, therefore you should not see your envious father Daksha. You should not see means better don't go. Who raised you? Dehakrut. who begotten you, who took care of you in your childhood, who raised you, even though better not to go to your father because he is envious. And you should not see his followers. Not only Daksha, but his followers also. At least in this condition, your other family members also. He scolded me with harsh words when I went to the sacrifice of the creators of the universe, though I was innocent. Anagasam api. Though I was innocent last time when we went there, unnecessarily for no reason, he scolded me in front of all the people. If at all we go again, we'll do the same thing. If at all you alone go again, he may do on you also. You will obey me if you are an obedient wife. Not only is he your father, but he also nourished you. I accept that he is your father, he took care of you. Everything is fine. You have natural affection for your father, but he hates me. If you go, he will hate you also. For your betterment, I'm saying that if you are an obedient wife, please stay home. Another meaning of Dehakrut is one who cuts the body. Thus, Daksha's future death is indicated. Dehakrut, the one who begets the body and maintains the body. Other meaning is that Dehakrut means one who cuts the body. By hating me and hence by hating you, Daksha will cut your body as well as his body. In the sense, Lord Shiva is indicating that your body will be cut into pieces and his body also will be cut into pieces if you go. This is what will be the outcome. Your body will cut into pieces means he, the one who raised your body, will be cause of your death, destruction of your body. And since your body came from his body, he will become the cause of the cutting of this body. Virabhadra will cut his body eventually. So
actually,
subtly hinting.
Shiva could foresee it's happening. He knew it.
He clearly mentions in the next verse. Lord Shiva explains the bad results if she disobeys Lord Shiva. If she goes disobeying the instructions of Lord Shiva, what is going to happen? Now Lord Shiva says in the last verse. Yadi yadi vradishyati yatihaya madvacho Badram bhavatya na tato bhavishyati Sambhavitasya swajanat parabhavo Yada sasadyo maranaya kalpate.
In spite of this instruction, you decide to go, neglecting my words. The future will not be good for you. You are most respectable, and when you are insulted by your relatives, this insult will immediately be equal to death.
If you ignore my words and go to your father's home, you will not have good fortune. Na badram bhavishyati. There will be no good fortune for you in the future. When a person who is most worthy of respect, if he is humiliated by a relative, that humiliation will immediately result in death. Generally we say, na, for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. So that means even though that person is living, is already dead. So that's what your Lord Shiva is indicating, that when a person worthy of respect, since you possess all the good qualities, you are worthy of respect. You are supposed to be commanding respect. But if you are humiliated by your relatives, your father, that humiliation will immediately result in death. You cannot tolerate. I could tolerate. Last time when he insulted me, I tolerated. But you cannot tolerate. This is what the upcoming result. If at all you disobey me and go. Apahaya means transgressing my instruction. When the humiliation of a respectable person takes place, that humiliation will produce the offender's death. That humiliation will produce the offender's death. So two things. You will be dead and the humiliator Daksha also will be dead. Both will happen. So now you do what you want.
I know.
हाँ?
Let's be the other.
तो इधर ऐसे तथा करो नहीं, इधर वो नहीं.
Go means
He's clearly telling, don't go. If you are obedient wife, don't go. So that was the, in one sense, request of Lord Shiva. Of course, apparently may appear to be an instructive tone, but it's more than instruction. He's also just telling logically what can happen. This is what happened. This is what happened in the past. This is now. This will happen in the future.
See the situation.
See the situation and ascertain it and do other needful. This is logical analysis of the situation. Now the response of Sati with the emotional. So then in the 4th chapter, Mother Sati, ignoring the forbiddance of her husband, goes to the sacrifice. When she was disrespected by her father, in anger, she criticized Daksha and gave up her body. This is what happened. We'll see few verses for the next chapter. Time kitna? Oh, sorry. Okay na. I did not see the time. Okay, late okay. कोई बहुत बात है नहीं 8:45 हो गए 8:30 को क्लास में. Okay, thank you. I have not seen.
You have any company?
So Hare Krishna, thank you very much. We'll continue next week the next chapter. We'll have exam also next week. After the exam, we'll continue the.
इसीलिए ज्यादा